Hey, thanks for clicking on the video. And in this episode of SNTR Gaming News, we'll be talking about the Battlefield 2042 beta information and why it seemed to disappear from the old-gen consoles. We'll also be talking about the Halo Infinite Flight 2. We got in, we're excited, and New World revealed their servers. It's a huge list, and if you're looking for those sections of the video, there are timestamps below. If you clicked on this for the Battlefield beta info, this is an SNTR update. The Battlefield 2042 beta at this point in time is in a giant question mark because a handful of very confusing things have taken place. First and foremost, the delay of the game has everybody wondering if Battlefield will hold to the original beta dates. There are leaks saying yes, there are leaks saying no, and not everybody really knows what's going on, and some of this information is just coming from leakers at this point. Last-gen users are apparently out in the cold, but then folks from EA and DICE clarified and said that it was an error and that the PS4 version was supposed to be showing up. It was confirmed on Twitter that this was some sort of an error, but even now, I want to talk about how this is not a good look. This is certainly not a good look for anyone looking forward to the title or just the beta as an incentive and reward for their pre-order. To suddenly feel like maybe the benefit of getting into the beta early is going to be taken away is not only a little bit frightening, like, wait a minute, but it could also be very frustrating. This comes on the heels of a delay that leaves many wondering if the feedback and criticism during the initial gameplay is putting the developers in sort of like a tailspin. Are they having to rework things? Are they having to call things up? Are they actually going to be pushing out the beta in a timely fashion? Now, the game is launching couched between Call of Duty and Halo. Battlefield 2042 just upset a very large user base who may be looking forward to diving into the beta. And they might not go back and check. They may just be like, it's gone. They took it away. They're not giving it to us now. And they might not go back, and they'll just sort of stay angry. Let's talk about betas in general, though, because I am looking forward to playing it, but we need to be honest about what betas are. We need to remember that this close to the launch of a game, the beta is very much close to being the final product. And we should not expect significant changes between now and launch, which again is part of some of my concern. Are they even going to be able to implement changes that are needed if the game is in bad shape? Much of what we'll be playing, if you're playing in the beta, is already done. It's complete. It's primarily used to stress test, find bugs, gather basic information and feedback from the community. And the feedback on the gameplay that's been experienced up to now hasn't been that positive. We already did a video on the fact that the specialists got a very bad comparison. They were compared to Team Fortress 2, and some people wanted the specialist system completely reworked. Now, this doesn't mean that betas are not worth checking out and playing, and they're especially good for viewers. If you're not even going to try to get into it, you can just watch gameplay before you buy the content. Lastly, what am I looking forward to? I am going to be playing this beta whenever it's available. We were hoping that they were going to stick to the original date and time, and it's not looking that way, but what I want to do is test out the maps, the combat flow. They talked about doing clustering to make sure people are together and fighting. I want to see how the weapons handle. More than anything, I want to see if the game feels good. I've never been a big Battlefield guy, but this game looks like they're promising to be pretty massive and pretty long going. This I also want to look at is the portal system. I'm really looking forward to that and all that we're going to be able to do with it. As a community, I think there's a lot of various game things we can come up with and even fun game types and really bring people together and create our own stuff. And if the game has issues or problems, we can still rely, I think, on Battlefield Portal to really deliver a fun time. There's going to be a good amount of coverage of this on my main SNTR Gaming news channel, so if you're watching on the updates channel, remember that you should be subscribed over there if you want to see those live streams, if you want to see the live gameplay coverage. SNTR Updates is purely designed for short update videos, so I'm going to do my best to feed this channel as well, the updates channel, with my first impressions, my critiques, my feedback, breakdowns of this game and other games like New World and Halo Infinite. So, if you're watching this on the updates channel, feel free to check out SNTR Gaming. If you're in the gaming audience, the live show is starting right now. And when you're watching on updates, hit subscribe and the bell button, and I'll see you in the next video. Okay, so good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. We were really excited about today, but boy oh boy, it's looking like all the stuff we were hoping to do it looks like it might not be happening. The Battlefield beta dates that we were finding on websites are apparently outdated. Then it got removed from old gen. Then it got put back on old gen. We're not really sure. And then the Halo Flight number 2, I have a sneaking suspicion that they're going to get us again. They're going to get us again. It's going to take forever. For them to roll it out. I've been checking my email. I've been checking the flight website, and it's not there. It's not. Yeah, the Battlefield beta was supposed to be today for folks that have pre-ordered, but it's looking like that is not going to be a thing. I don't think they're going to stick to the original. I don't think they're going to stick to the original dates since the game was delayed. Flight 2 might be delayed. I understand from 343 Industries. Oh, have they indicated that it's potentially gonna be delayed as well? Have they tweeted anything? The official Halo. Does 343 not even have an official Twitter account? Do they do everything from the official Halo? 16 hours again. Rally in Spartans. We're taking a look at the upcoming Halo Infinite multiplayer tech preview with the team, including big team battles. So they did a stream on YouTube yesterday, showing it off. So I've only had the invite email. Same Hilly. I just got the official email saying that I made it into flight number 2. Does 343 not have an actual, it doesn't seem like they have an actual Twitter account. Do they just do everything from the Halo account? That seems kind of bizarre. We're just getting our hopes up anymore, thinking games will be what they claim or release when they're supposed to. Yeah. Any news on hazard mode? No, they've not said anything. I mean, this seems like another Bumble. It's like the setup here was supposed to be if you pre-ordered, you could play Battlefield today, and it looks like that's not happening. And in addition to that, they're saying that it got removed from the old gen platforms, but it's supposed to be there or something. So sad my membership's on the other channel. Yeah, we're thinking about that. We want to have people have memberships everywhere, but it's kind of tough, Oh, I needed that coffee, dude. I have a feeling Battlefield will get delayed again. Oh, you think it's going to get delayed out of this year? I mean, it's certainly possible after everything that's happened. Did you go under Brian Gerard? No, I'm not. I don't follow that. I don't think I follow him. Hang on. Here we go. Oh, sketch. We'll see how things are looking tomorrow AM and make the call. Oh, no updates on flight timing yet. We're in a holding pattern as work continues. So I don't think he's saying that the flight's not going to happen or that it's going to get delayed. He's just saying the timing of when the flight goes live is up in the air. I think we're going to get screwed again. I don't know what we're going to play then in the afternoon. We were really hoping to play both the Battlefield beta and the Halo Infinite flight number 2. Allergies got you good? This is the last day. So this is how it always is with me with allergies. Day 1 is scratchy drainage. Day 2, bit of a cough. And then day 3, I feel so much better, and I sound like gravel voice all day long, I kind of like when my voice sounds like this, though. It's got a lot more bass, you know what I mean? It's got more bass to it. The new big team battle mode in Halo sounds dope. They called it Total Control. You have to take 3 zones at the same time. Sounds like dope teamworking. Yeah, as long as they've thought through, does it turn into a spawn trap? Do you remember Warzone? Wasn't that their game mode that they had, and it just turned into a frickin' spawn trap? It was awful. If the other team was playing well, No, I'm not sick. It's like when the temperature in Louisville, Kentucky is 90 and then just plummets down into the 60s, it hits our family in this order. It hits my son, then my daughter, and my wife, and then me. It always hits me last. And I'm usually fine. You know what I mean? I felt fine, Who left cut onions at my desk? Oh, you're playing Sable? I couldn't install it in Steam yet. It wasn't letting me. I played a just adorable little sim game today for you guys called Potion Craft. I swear to you, I'm going to become a sim guy. I'm going to start making sim content. I swear to frick, I'm going to do it. I swear to you, I'm going to do it. Like, these just fun little... Oh, yeah, no, I can add Sable to the cart now. Well, we'll get that. We'll get that ready. We may end up playing that. Apparently, where do you think it runs the best, Barrier? I'm always nervous to buy stuff on PC, depending on what platform they made it, for. Yo, what's good, feed? How are you? I see you in the chat feed. Like, I know that they're doing the 60 FPS for Sable. They're doing it in both places. They're doing it for PC and for Xbox. I just have a weird feeling that this game should be played on console. I don't know. You know what I mean? You could always start your second run of Returnal. If you guys don't go back and watch that Returnal stream, you are missing easily one of the best gameplay streams that I have ever done in the history of me as a streamer. It is legendary. It is absolutely legendary. I'm on fire in that game all of a sudden. I'm just on fire. I beat Biome 3 boss. The first time I got to Biome 3 boss, beat it. It was the first time I ever got there. I beat the Biome 4 boss the first time I ever got there. Beat Biome 5 the first time I ever got there. And then beat Biome 6. Got to the end, got to the credits. It was legendary. I went and added the timestamps if you want to see the Biome 4 boss fight and then the Biome 6 boss fight. I'm changing my opinion. Returnal, undeniably, game of the year. Undeniably. Game of the year. Nothing. That game, in my opinion, now, in my experience, it's right up there, sitting second to Hellblade. And I am not kidding, and you guys know I don't exaggerate. I put Returnal just second fiddle to Hellblade. Unbelievable. The artistry, the music, the story, the combat, the graphics. It is... No. Hades is okay. No. Hades is fine. But I'm telling you, Returnal, Game of the Year 2021. Ratchet and Clank is right up there with it. Guess you like Hellblade? Hellblade is my all-time favorite game, yes. I think Hellblade is the closest game to gaming perfection that's ever been created. I think Hellblade is the closest we've ever got. I think it's the closest. I've never played a perfect game. But I'm telling you right now, I think Hellblade is the closest to gaming perfection that I have ever played. And Returnal is pretty friggin' close. I mean, it is phenomenal. I am so irritated that, I would say console, but there's minor bugs and stutters on both platforms. Oh, really? Yo, what's good, Cream of Wheat? Not seen you in a while. I started Hellblade, but never finished it. Remember how much you love playing Hellblade? Yeah, what's good, Geritol? Let's hope they don't screw up Hellblade 2. I'll just get it on PC. We'll just roll it. I feel like a little indie title like this is probably primarily building itself for PC. You know? Your reactions yesterday were amazing. The build-up to Biome 4's boss is absolutely just... It is so well-crafted. It is so beautiful. And it is so haunting. I don't even know what to describe. I had to go back and rewatch it. The sudden swell in the music, and you can hear the melody in the background. I need a Returnal shirt that just says, "Don't fear the Reaper." Like, I need that. Oh my gosh, I need that. Like, don't fear the Reaper. That's one of my favorite moments in gaming when she said that, when you're hearing that little piano, boom, 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 and you're like, what is that? It's so familiar. It's so haunting and eerie. And she's like, "Don't fear the Reaper." And you're like, oh my gosh, like the light bulb goes off. You get like goosebumps. She's so intense. The voice actor did such a phenomenal job. I bet you a bag of Rageless Roast it'll be Ratchet and Clank. Ratchet and Clank will probably take it, but I'm telling you right now, Returnal is one of the best video games I've ever played. I'm so glad they went back and rebalanced it. And I'm going to tell you something right now. Biome 3 was an absolute joke, in my opinion, prior to the rebalancing. Because Biome 4, 5, and 6 are exactly what they need to be. They're intense, they're punishing, they're scary, they're wonderful. Biome 3 was awful before they rebalanced. It was terrible. The game is in such a great spot now. It's so smooth. It's just such a great trajectory of difficulty. If you tuned in this morning for Battlefield 2042 beta information, I'll give it to you. I've got it. I've got the information about the Halo flight. Well, I don't have the information on Halo Infinite Flight number 2. We're in, but we're waiting for 343. We also have the New World servers were revealed. So buckle up for a good day of updates and news in gaming. I had to talk about Returnal this morning. I cannot believe that game exists. It is absolutely immaculate. It's such a bummer that it's a rogue, because I just want to go back and experience some of the fights. They're just so beautifully done. I've never played a game like that before in my life. My hands were shaking. I was like, there was so much riding on it. Because for me personally, it's so important for me. I want to get that first run victory. That's so important for me. I want it. I want it real bad. If I can beat a boss my first try, that just feels incredible. You can't replicate that feeling. You cannot replicate that feeling. Remember when you didn't like rogues? I still don't like rogues. I still don't like them. I don't like them because I like them. Feel that way about Returnal? Just wait till you go back to Demon Souls. Oh yeah, what a beautiful game, Gritter. What a beautiful game. Do you think we'll get Returnal on PC down the line? Yeah, I think so, because I think that rogues are so popular in the PC world. I believe the PC community would just embrace that game like a big bear hug. You know what I mean? Lono's out here playing rogues and souls. Look, man, I'm a different man. I'm a different person. You know, I've been through hell. You know, and I need games to allow me to enact the vengeance and the anger in my heart. I'm gonna be real with you. The psychological element of this, I think, is a big factor. I think the reason I like these games so much is I get to destroy something that deserves it. Do you know? Like, I'm telling you, there's a psychological element here. There is. I've got a lot of anger, you know, and I get to take it out. I get to take it out on these games. You know, hot fire and fury, just ripping something down. Oh, I love it. I love it. Getting to the end of Returnal just felt like what a great parallel to everything we've tried to do, right? Just the same thing every day. You feel like you're always starting over. You feel like you can't get free. And yet, if you persevere, you can rise above it. I just felt amazing. It felt amazing. That's probably one of my best gaming memories on a stream now. That's probably it. There was the time I played Hellblade, the second time I played it, and I like broke down, right? And I had to like shut it off at the end. I had to just shut the stream off. I was so emotional. I was so in it. This trumped that. This just felt unbelievable. Just so legendary. I like went back and read the chat, and they're like, if he one-shots this, oh my gosh, like you guys couldn't believe it. You were like, he's gonna one-shot it. He's going all the way to the end. You know, so much was riding on it. So much. All the way from 4 to the end. It just felt great. Don't fear the Reaper. No, I need something official. Do they have any official Returnal? I want official Returnal merchandise, and I needed to say don't fear the Reaper. I love that. Is just that is so good. It'll be there. They said so themselves, and then tried to say it was a mistake. You haven't finished Returnal, by the way. Oh, I know, and I'm happy about that, Eugene, because I'm in now. Oh, I'm in. Oh, I'm in there, dude. Yeah, I like God of War. I liked God of War. I did. To think you almost stopped playing so close to the end? I couldn't. I was like, there's too much riding on this. I was like, the what if, right? The what if in my mind was too strong. What if you pull this off, brother? What if you do it? It's not about the biomes anymore, Grifter. I keep wanting to call you Gritter, because of the Grifter like guy in the comics. I had an awesome figurine of Grifter. In any case, you basically have to replay it to get more story elements. You didn't finish What's Left? No spoilers? No spoilers, but like if you want to reveal the rest of the story, you've got to go back through and play it again. 4, 5, and 6, I think. You do. And I'm in. I want to. Oh my gosh. What an experience. There's a full ending. There's more. Yeah. Are we still waiting for Halo? Yeah, Halo Flight 2. Halo Flight 2 is apparently today. Halo Infinite Flight number 2 is apparently today. I'm in, but we have no idea when we can install. The Battlefield 2042 beta is supposed to be today, and we're waiting for information about that. It's apparently getting bumped and not happening today, which makes sense because of the delay, but we thought maybe they would honor the beta dates since the beta dates were set before they decided to delay the game. And the New World servers, were revealed. There's a lot of them. So we have a lot of news for you today. Most of it's not that great, right? My first clear, I went straight through 3, 4, 5, and 6. There are some abilities that just totally change. They just totally change the game. They really, really do. That portal thing, portal buddy, what the frick? And then leech rounds, the frick? Like, there are some crazy abilities. And I like that they give them to you. I do. The 343 dev said the flight has a chance to change in their most recent stream. So they're saying the Halo Infinite Flight number 2 might not... What, are they going to bump it? Blue Oyster Cult, Don't Fear the Reaper, one of my youth party songs. Yeah. That's the cowbell song. Gotta have more cowbell. I got an update on my Halo Flight download from last time, so I guess that means I'm in as well. Well, they would have emailed you. I keep refreshing my Halo Waypoint flight page, and I've got nothing. So I don't have anything. So we're waiting. They might bump it. Yeah, I guess we'll play Sable this afternoon if they bump it. You know what I mean? And don't let me forget, if we play Sable, I need to say, hey, we like to archive all the new games that we play. Here's the first 30 minutes or whatever. The return of weapons get crazier. Well, yeah, I mean, you've got to go back and they never emailed you the first time? Really? What? Oh, so you just logged in and it was there. The Battlefield news is fake news. It's just Amazon sending out beta codes by mistake. They still have the old date on their website. DICE already said they will talk about the beta at the end of the month. Oh, so that guy has one on TeePublic. Yeah, it looks okay. I wish that he wouldn't put the stars on there. Do you know what I mean? Do you see the white shadow? Oh my gosh. I tried to find... I went to the soundtrack because I wanted Biome 4, I wanted the boss's music, and the soundtrack doesn't have it. I'm not sure what's going on. I must have bumped my head this morning. I've got a red spot. It's not a blemish. I must have bumped my head. Dermatologist cleaned me right up. You know what I mean? I just want to scream, what are these devs doing? Halo can't get things in order after a year-long delay. Battlefield can't keep up. And that other game can't get any content other than bounties. Well, there you go. I think it takes them hours to run the emails so that they don't hit spam boxes. Yeah, there's limitations because email in and out servers will automatically flag stuff if too much comes out. That's right. Housemarque doesn't have any official merch yet. Yeah, that's what I want. We really need that. We need some Returnal merch, man. I'm always wearing an 80s tee. Let me update the command for you today. They have an amazing video game collection over on 80s tees, and I will update the command for you. I'll update the command for you because this Mario Kart shirt is super dope. It's a super dope little shirt, and all my stuff is not where it's supposed to be. My computer did that thing where it restarted itself last night, which is fine. Do whatever you gotta do, just don't do it when I'm streaming. And so now all my stuff's gone. There we go. A Returnal displate? Oh, I didn't even think to look. I don't think he was supposed to send me a bunch more, and I've not gotten the email. I'm going to email him this morning and just say, hey, just checking in on this. You know, where are we on this? I really hope Blue Blocks releases like some anti-glare like lenses. I love their stuff. Like, can you imagine like how cool I would look wearing these if they didn't have all that glare? You know what I mean? I love it. I love the red. It's got such a dope look. But like it looks terrible. It's like you can't see my eyes. It's like the whole show gets disrupted. It's like, my gosh, dude, where are you? Are you in a space station, Lono? Like, what is that? Okay, let me reply. Let's see. Just checking in on this. Haven't got a shipping email yet. I'm trying to think. Also, any Returnal displates? Hang on. Displates? What the frick? Whenever random capital letters... There we go. Alright, I'm just checking in with him. I might not get an email. Last time I got an email when they shipped them. I might not get one. Supposedly, Best Buy is supposed to have PS5 and Xbox Series X's in store today, in case anyone is still looking for one. Yo, what's good, Train? How are you? All right, we need to do a poll. Let's do a poll. Which game are you most interested in? All right. This is most interested in. You could be interested in all of them, but there's going to be one that wins, okay? All right. Halo Infinite, Battlefield 2042, and New World. Let's get a poll going. If you're new to the stream, SNTR Gaming News, Monday through Friday, sitting here chopping up gaming news with you guys. The Battlefield 2042 beta, Halo Infinite Flight number 2, and New World servers have been revealed. So cast your votes. Which game are you most interested in? It's at the top of the chat. If you want to talk in my chat, you need to be a sub. They didn't even have 50 of the PS5s. I got there at 4:30 a.m., says Sandra. Yeah, different stores. Yeah, select stores, says Barrier. So not all. So I would call ahead of time. Well, I mean, if it's close, you might as well drive. Because if they're like, yeah, we got them, it's going to be too late by the time you get there. Right? Halo was your first ever FPS. My first ever FPS was Wolfenstein 3D. So I'm like, I'm a real one. I'm kidding. But yeah, Wolfenstein 3D. And my mom did not like that we played it. She was not a fan. She did not like the fact that there was guns and blood and stuff, you know. We all know Halo will beat them all. It's a free-to-play game. Excuse me. 50, that's a high ask. I mean, they didn't even have 50. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I would imagine they'd get like 20, you know? You're a relic, Rad. I'm just kidding. Miss you, Rad. You're never around any... Well, you're around. You've been around. There was a while there where you disappeared. I was like, where's Rad? And the rest of the mods. Mom looking out for you. That's right. My first was Quake 1. The motion sickness was horrible. Yeah. My dad can't play games now because of it, you know? He would love these games. Oh my gosh, he would love them. Just the first 2 Tomb Raiders. Not that third pile of trash, but the first 2 Tomb Raider remakes. My dad would love those. He loved Tomb Raider. The puzzles and the combat, you know what I mean? You hear about that new simulator coming out in March? No. There's a new simulator coming out in March? I'm telling you right now, I'm falling in love with sim games. I swear to frick, I'm going to make a sim channel. I swear I'm going to do it. I'm just going to make sim content. They're so relaxing and fun. I played a game this morning called Potion Craft. Rad comes in. No! Really, Rad? Oh my gosh! Congratulations. Oh, man. Now that's a simulator game worth playing. Well, the one that makes a baby, but also after. A little rad. There's gonna be a little rad. I hope it's a girl. So I always pull for girls. I love boys. My boy is a freaking blast. He is funnier than me, and he doesn't even know it yet. He's funnier than me, and he doesn't even know it yet. And but man, I'm always pulling for a girl, especially on the first. You know, because it's hard. It's really difficult. And a daughter softens you up, you know. It makes you a little, especially as a man, it made me a little more gentle, you know. It's tough. It's a lot of work. The first version of that sim was great. I don't know if I don't know what the protocol is, Radical. Was this something that, I like to know these things. You're a friend of mine. Was this a surprise, or were you guys like, hey, let's go to 2.0. Let's expand our fire team. You know what I'm saying? Were you matchmaking, or was this like a, oh yay, you know? Which I'm always interested in that. I'm always interested because having kids is so fun. Like, it really is. And I'm always touchy on that because some people can't. Some people have a lot of trouble. We were planning. Okay, good. I always like to know. That's always exciting because I know it's like some people can't, and it's very, very hard for them. I'm going to give you guys some advice. Never tease anybody about children. When are you going to have some? No. Do not do that. You got to take that out of your brain. Don't ever do that. Don't do that. You have no idea. They may have been trying for 3 years. They may have had and lost. You just don't joke about that with people. You may be absolutely pouring acid in a gaping wound in their heart. So do not joke about that. It seems funny and charming, and you scold your in-laws when they do it. You put them in their dadgum place. At Thanksgiving and Christmas, you say, you dare joke about that. You have no idea what's going on. Little life tip. Did I miss a gas station simulator stream? You did, Derek. It's over. It's a premiere. It's the #1 game on Steam. It's a premiere over on my other channel, SNTR Presents. And I'm telling you right now, I want to go back and play it again. I played a super charming little game today and recorded it for you called Potion Craft. Oh my gosh, it's so fun. And the artwork is just wonderful. It's like a little hand-drawn book. It's so good. I'm still nervous about telling people because we're still waiting on some tests, but we were past the 12-week mark, so we're feeling better. Oh, yeah. That is actually very, everybody's different, Rad. So some people tell it right away, and then they're okay with publicly grieving it. I think that's healthy. Some people keep it a secret until they're a little more confident that that's not going to happen. And I think everybody has to choose what they think is best. Because some people don't want to grieve publicly. They want to grieve privately, and I think both are fine. The danger of grieving privately is no one freaking knows, and then you know that's hard to have a support system. So, but that's good. 12 weeks, okay. They have some tests now to tell you what it is too. They can do that a lot earlier. So, if you guys are just tuning in, we're celebrating. One of my mods is pregnant, and we're very excited and happy for her. And I hope it's a girl, and I hope you name her Lono, and that's really all I ask. So, why did you name me Lono? Well, you see, it's a long story about coffee, a video game, and cancel culture. So sit down. Yes, we did that. We should know very soon. Okay, good. That's fun. Are you gonna do like the party? Are you gonna do the party and the cake and all that? Or are you just gonna like open the envelope and be like, "There's a little PP"? Like, which one are you doing? I like the parties. I think that's fun because then you get to include friends and family. You know, you get to include them. That's fun. I think I'm all for it. I'm like that guy. I'm like, no, you don't want to do the party? See, I'm that guy. Like, I'm like, let's do the party, let's do the pictures. Because a lot of guys are like, I don't want to do none of that. Like, bleh. And I'm like, no, let's do it. It's fun. It's so fun. You know, especially for the guy because, you know, he didn't have to get fat, you know. he just gets to, well, I mean, my hands would cramp up. My poor wife's feet with our daughter. Oh my goodness, they look like balloons. It was rough. I was massaging those things every night. My hands were cramped at bed. I was like, oh, it's just trying to help relieve some of it. I'm going to have them tell me and tell everyone else. Okay, I'm in Florida. Something would go, oh yeah, well, yeah, you're in Florida. Yeah, Florida man would show up to the party. So if you guys haven't taken the poll, right? When do these parties start? Also the photo shoots? Probably heavily influenced by Facebook and Instagram would be my guess. If you wanted to like study the sociological trend of that happening, you know? I don't like the photo shoots where like they get out the bare belly and kiss it and stuff, but I think it's cute to take pictures with a woman who is very pregnant. I think it's very cute because you're not gonna look like that ever again. I think it's cool to document it. I think it's cool to be like, look at this. This is beautiful. You know what I mean? This is beautiful. Are you gonna play D2R? What in the frick is that? D2R. My bare belly will not be in photos. Yeah, like Rad, you're great, and I think you're adorable, but I don't want to see your bare belly. Like, with all the love in my heart I can muster, just, you know, you can keep that covered up, you know? You don't need to get that out. It's okay, you know? I think it's beautiful. I think you can put on really great dresses and look really sweet, but nobody needs to be seeing that. I just, you know, you can you can keep that covered up. Radical's pregnant. We were talking about the photo shoots that people do. Yeah, 12 weeks. Madam says congratulations. I like the photo shoots. We were just saying I don't like the bare belly ones. Like, put on a pretty dress.
No, bare belly is fine, but it's the one when they're wearing like, you know, like why are you wearing like?
Why does it look like it belongs on OnlyFans? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, like, I don't know. You're a mother, like.
That's that we just hit the jackpot, babe. People are into that. You know that, right? Onlymoms.com. Like, hi, buddy. My son just walked in the room. How are you? I had to stop. He peeked his little head around the corner. Oh my gosh. Whew. What do you got planned for the day, Curly? What are you doing? School? Oh, yeah. Getting smart. Math. All of that. Anyway. Yeah, there you go. You've been doing all those workouts. You can't lift him? Come on.
He's 50 pounds.
Is he really? Did he pass her? Okay. Anyways, Battlefield 2042 beta and Halo Infinite Flight 2 and New World servers. So, yeah, that's it. Get your booty shakes in and then get out of here. I slept great last night. Thank you. I woke up this morning. I was like, oh no. I felt bad, but I used one of those little bath things in the hot shower and I felt better. So you can hear it in my voice, though. It's definitely gravelly. It's actually low. What do you mean? I don't have a high voice. I can make it high. Like, what do you mean? But I don't have a high voice. What are you talking about? Now, I certainly don't have like a low voice like Kratos, like, boy. Read it, boy. Boy, what does it say, boy? I could do Kratos now. Hire me. Only today. We got to read all the lines. You are not ready. Since Lono loves sim games, he'll love Diablo 2 Inventory Manager Simulator. Say hi, buddy, is Kratos? Yeah, hi, buddy. My husband has the highest voice. People think he's a woman on the phone all the time. I mean, everybody, you got to put up with everybody. Everybody has something you have to put up with, Rad. So, I mean, it's fine, He's he has, now you know. You're like, well, that's what I have to put up with, you know. That's something that you got to deal with. Glass breaks in my office as Lono high-pitched whines. Oh, come on. I don't get that. I do not get that high. My registry doesn't even go up that high. Like, if I were to do a scale, like, do, like, I can't even go up that high. Get out of here. You guys exaggerate so much, it's an insult to exaggeration. It's like, it's not even exaggeration. It's just friggin' fantasy land, you know? Yeah, your voice is really high and you're 3 feet tall. Like, okay. Come on. Lono's Dark Souls disagree voice. Depending on the game, it gets pretty high. Right. What do you mean? That's right. That is right. You go way higher than me with the what do you mean? Well, listen. I got range, man. I got range. That's just, you know, that's life. I put up with him given my condition. Well, Rad, you have a good voice. You know what I'm saying? You should get into like not books. Yeah, books on tape is not the term anymore, isn't it? Audiobooks. You could read. I think you could read audiobooks. I think that's something that you could get into if you want. I don't know. It's probably pretty tough to get into. They get like celebrities and stuff. My son has a couple of books, and so does my wife. No, I'm sorry. My wife downloads these books for them, and sometimes I'm like, please don't download that one anymore. There's a couple that they download, and David Tennant does the reading, and I gotta tell you, I love that guy, but I don't want to listen to him read a book. It sounds like he needs to swallow every time. It sounds like his mouth is just full of saliva. It's so hard to listen to. It's like, did you take a drink of water in between every take and like not really swallow all the water? Like, what's happening? You know? That's why I started the podcast, so I can hear myself talk. That's right. What do you mean as high as F? Like, what do you mean? But even when I do that, it's like I'm going into a voice. Like, that's not my voice. It's like I'm putting on a voice. Books on tape, get out the Walkman. Did you guys have those growing up? It was like a clamshell. It was you could kind of squish it. It had like the white clamshell, and you'd like pop it open, and there'd be like 9 cassette tapes on one side, or it'd be like 8, I think. It'd be like 2 rows of 4, and then 8 over here, and it would be like Winnie the Pooh. You know, you'd pop them out. You'd have to like pop them out of the thing, and then put them in the cassette player. Did you guys have those? We had those growing up. We did. Make sure and take the poll in chat. Let's look at these results here. What game are you most interested in? Halo Infinite with 48%, and then Battlefield 2042 and New World are tied. It's not surprising, all you Xbox folks. All you Xbox folks that are like, you refuse to show up if I talk about anything PlayStation. Yeah, we know. We see. The bass in your voice this morning opens the door to Allstate commercials. Oh, that guy's voice is phenomenal. Oh yeah, he's wonderful. He's great. Yeah, what's in your wallet? Yeah, I don't even think you can't really mimic his voice. Like, his voice is like Kratos, you know? It's just way down there. I love when they had him on Brooklyn Nine-Nine. That was good. I'm always here to bring the smoke. That's right. We give Mo a hard time, but he shows up no matter what. He'll show up just to take shots at the PlayStation title. You know what I'm saying? That's what he'll show. He shows up just for that. Finally started What If on Disney Plus because I thought I'd hate it. Turns out I'm actually really enjoying the concept. Yeah, we're saving that one. We've not watched it. You know what I mean? What's in your wallet is for Capital One Bank. Well, he just put it in the chat. I don't know. Didn't he do both commercials? Did he do Allstate and Capital One? I respect all consoles equally, but Xbox rules the world, yeah. Brooklyn Nine-Nine finally. The wife and I loved it. Oh, yeah. It's such a shame they're going to have to end on a not very good season. It is not going that great. You know what I mean? I'm struggling. I think I'm going to do the updates, go back to bed. No, that's fine. That's fine, Creature. I almost did the same myself. If we can't play these games, I was like, yeah, that's a wrap. That's a freaking wrap. Sorry, I was reading something. Yeah. Is your hoe in good hands? Is your home in good hands? I thought the most recent season was pretty decent. Obviously not the best, but not the worst. They just had to do so many strange things with how it was filmed because of, like, you know, and I don't even understand why you wouldn't just have everybody come in, get them all, you know, get everybody, you know, tested or whatever, and then just be like, all right, you're here for 2 weeks. We're going to film, well, you're here for a month. We're going to film everything. But instead, they must have had conflicts or something, and they couldn't do that. So, like, the framing is weird. The scenes are odd. You can tell that they're filming like separately. It's just awkward. It doesn't flow very well. You know, does not flow very well. When was the last time you took a weekday, 6 day, and didn't film content? You're a rock. I don't get sick all that often, honestly. If I'm down, holy moly, I'm down for the count. Something walloped me. Usually the thing that wipes me out is food poisoning. If I get that, I'm done. I'm like, bam, I'm out for a whole day. You know what I mean? Which show are you talking about? Brooklyn Nine-Nine. So, the Battlefield 2042 beta information, we were supposed to be getting it today. Doesn't look it's happening. The Halo Infinite Flight number 2 is supposed to be today, and it doesn't look like it's happening. And I don't really have an interest in playing Diablo 2 Resurrected. I think the challenge with Diablo 2 Resurrected for me is I don't like it. I loved Diablo 2 back in the day, but I've played too many games now. I played too many games. I played too many, I've played too many dungeon crawlers. Do you know what I'm saying? Oh, and my wife and I appreciated all the recommendations that you guys gave us last night for games. We settled on going with Sackboy's Big Adventure, which, what a name. Anyway, that's what we settled on. And it's really, really fun. It's a fun little game. And also, Overcooked, the first Overcooked with like all the DLC is like for free on PS Plus. So we downloaded that. So one of your channels has its own doctor. Yeah, that's Creature. He's just on the wrong account. A ton of shows had really strange recent seasons because of shooting during this. The Walking Dead and Supergirl both had really strange last half seasons. Yeah, The Walking Dead was so bizarre. It was like, yeah, we're just going to film these two guys in a warehouse. And then Liquid Metal's going to show up. Like, how do they bag him? They bagged him for one episode? I was like, oh my gosh. This is going to be incredible. He's going to be a new character on the show. And they're like, nah. What? Why'd you even bother getting him? Why did you even bother? He was so good. That scene was so captivating. You know, Negan's backstory was excellent, but that scene with that dude, it was a little too preachy. Like, there's good people in the world. It was like, this is so awkwardly written. You know what I mean? Shocker, right? A Sony first-party title is surprisingly fun. Here's the dilemma that my wife and I face with games right now. Like Battlefield 2042 or Halo Infinite. Like, we can't play those games together, right? We can't play those games together. That's not what we're looking for. What we like is, we like loot. And it can be a side-scroller, it can be a dungeon crawler, it can be a shooter. And if there's loot, it's really, really fun. The problem is that's like such a tall order, apparently. It's like you either play Diablo or Borderlands, and after that, it's like there's not really anybody doing games like that, you know? Anybody check out the Star Wars anime shows? No, I heard they put them all up, though. I stopped watching The Walking Dead after they killed my boy a second time. Who did you like? Oh. You talking about Glenn? Yeah, with the fake out, and then they killed him anyway. You got Peacock, the new Lost Symbol TV show is great so far. It's the Robert Langdon series. Lost Symbol? I don't know. I've not heard of that. What are we playing Friday? I think we should try Valheim. Can you play Valheim on like a can you play it with a controller? Because it's on console, isn't it? Is Valheim everywhere, or is it PC only? Play D&D? No. Double Dragon? No. I kept suggesting it, but Valheim has loot, sort of. Yeah, we're not going to be able to play a survival game. Like, Ark Survival Evolved actually has split screen. Like, it actually has split screen. The Da Vinci Code book series, Lost Symbol's one of the books. Oh, okay. This channel's all about looty shooties and Lono booty. That's right. Valheim is PC, but with controller support. I'm in Steam right now. We'll look it up and see if it has controller support. I have a hard time committing to playing something. I thought Valheim was free. It's $20. Partial controller support and online co-op. So, Robert Langdon, you mean from those funny movies? Yeah, I don't know. You wanted to try Valheim? Yeah, it's got partial controller support, and I mean, we could see. I don't remember any controller support, but I didn't try it. If you want loot, maybe Tarkov. My wife's not going to play Tarkov. If I just wanted split screen, I just wanted local co-op for Torchlight 1 and 2. Apparently Torchlight 3 is terrible. And so if we were going to play Torchlight 1 and 2, I was going to have to get it installed on like 2 different systems and 2 different television, which like, that's fine, but like, I just didn't feel like messing with that last night. No. Risk of Rain 2, Rogues won't work for what we want to do. Like Children of Morta, and yeah, no. It has controller support. There are a few things it doesn't do well. Game is amazingly addictive, building exploration. Yeah. Hilly and I we're gonna build a town. You know, that'll be our goal. Torchlight 2 with mods is amazing. Yeah. It's just we need to be able to set it up in the living room. You know what I'm saying? I need to be able to set it up in the living room. Yeah, that's what we got. The shake was unusually high this morning. I have 400 plus hours in Valheim, and I don't like most survival games. Well, there you go. Torchlight's lack of multiplayer is the only thing I dislike. Yeah, I don't understand. How do you not have split screen? Like, it's a dungeon crawler. I don't understand. I'll build the bar and the pub. You can build the other stuff. There you go. Grim Dawn is a Diablo-like game on Steam, and it's always on sale. Well, I have to take my computer in and get the one thing replaced on it so we can put a gaming rig back in the living room. You know, we don't have a gaming rig that we can put in the living room. I could try and take that backup streaming PC and bring it out there and see if I can get it to run. I couldn't get it to run OBS well, but it might play video games just fine. It's pretty good little machine. I was gonna take it in too. I think it's just got a bad memory. One of the slots, I think, one of the memory. What would you call that? Memory sticks? One of them, I think, is bad. I think it just blue screens all the dadgum time. But it only seemed to blue screen when we were like trying to do stuff with OBS. I was like, well, I don't know. Let me try gaming on it. You know, when you hear about a new game launching, what ask Mr. Sure George? Oh, you can put a question up on the board here. Yeah, you guys can use the question command or the Q command or the highlight command if you want your questions to show up on screen like this. When you hear about a new game launching, what aspects are sure to draw you in? RPG mechanics, competitive multiplayer, loot grind, something different altogether? For me, it's all about good combat and loot. It's all about those two things. If it's got good combat, dude, like when I saw I remember the first time I saw gameplay of Ghost of Tsushima, I was like, dude, I have to play that game. I must play that game. Is something going on with YouTube? We just had like a ton of people so I think something's going on with YouTube. It seems like a bunch of people had to refresh all at once. I don't know, like 40 people. No Man's Sky and Valheim are the only two survival games I play for similar reasons. Okay. Story's not a main priority? No. All should be, when I look at a game, all should be sacrificed at the altar of the content loop. If your story is thin but your content loop is amazing, that's what keeps people coming back, right? Now, it depends on the game, right? The story in Horizon Zero Dawn, God of War, Spider-Man, Hellblade, I think those stories matter a lot because it's a single-player action-adventure game. You need to have a strong story or it's going friggin' nowhere. It's going nowhere without a good story, right? YouTube made landscape chat for mobile bearable. How long have I missed that? It literally was it was last week's update. They pushed out an update last week. And so I always look at the content loop. What am I going to be doing? When I saw gameplay footage for that Wukong game, I was like, oh my gosh, that looks so good, right? I want really, really good combat. I want a really, really good content loop. Now, Dauntless says endgame. It has to have endgame. Here's the biggest challenge with endgame when you're promoting a video game, okay? With trailers and gameplay and I think you have to just avoid going down those trenches unless you're promoting an ongoing live service game or like an MMO. And even then, it's super hard to position your marketing and your advertising in a way that can even make sense of the end game. Like if you tried right now to put together a trailer for the end game of New World, I don't think you could do it. It'd be like, well, you play and you get stuff and you go and play harder stuff and get more stuff. Like, I think it's very difficult to put on display what end game's even going to look like and how it's going to be experienced because it requires so much familiarity with the game and so much experience with the game. I don't think you can put together an end game trailer. Do you know what I mean? Now, you can put together a trailer that talks about your content schedule, Are you going to do seasons? Are you going to do DLCs? So with Battlefield 2042 the specialists. So the Battlefield 2042 specialists, with how they're rolling those out, they kind of showed us, here's what seasonal content delivery is going to look like. Here's, the specialists are going to show up every time. And then with Halo Infinite, they've said, well, we'll have a battle pass. The story will kind of continue. You'll be going and doing stuff with your Spartan. And the first season is, Heroes of Reach. They're trying to tickle that nostalgia, nerve in your brain. And so you can do that. You can be like, here's our content schedule. But I don't really know how you would put on a trailer or marketing materials to be like, well, here's what the end game's going to look like. Now, some games can do this when they're like, this expansion will have 2 new dungeons and a new quest line, with the wizard, and there'll be new armor sets, and there'll be this and there'll be that. They can kind of show you what's going to be in the end game. But I don't necessarily think they can say, here is us promoting and marketing our end game. I don't think that's easy. I think that's a big challenge. I think that's a significant challenge to put it together in a way that, that makes sense to people. It's like, well, I'm not even playing the game. I'm not level 50 yet. I'm not level whatever yet. I don't even understand what you're talking about. I don't have a frame of reference to ground any of this information because I haven't played your game, Outriders essentially talked about the challenge tier system in one of their videos and showed all the loot coming out of the drop pods. Well, and honestly, I think if you want to do trailers about your end game, I think People Can Fly actually did a pretty good job with Outriders. I'm talking about the trailers and the information. I'm not talking about what they actually did in the game. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, like, they did a pretty good job marketing it. I remember looking at it and being like, this looks pretty good. This is like a pretty good, like, end game content loop, you know? I can't with this shake. I can't anymore. I gotta have some coffee. Oh my word, it's perfect this morning. Speaking of coffee, we only got one coffee order yesterday, and Madam is a little disappointed, and so are my kids. I will use that to get people to order coffee. We have a dark roast and a light roast. It's the same flavor, but obviously the dark roast is more full-bodied. The balanced acidity is why people like it so much. Use the coffee command. This is our coffee. Like, it's in my home. We ship it to you, okay? You're supporting my family directly whenever you order it. We're not working with, like, some other company. So use that coffee command or go to ragelessroast.com. Also, the shirt I'm wearing is from 80s Tees. You can use the shirt command. That supports me as well if you use my code. And the disc plate's back there behind me. So Outriders marketing was smoke and mirrors? No, actually, I feel like the marketing adequately and described and showcased what the end game was going to look like, and they delivered it. They did. The marketing for Outriders Endgame, you know, I thought was it lined up totally fine. It was what we got. It just had so many rough edges. It was really, really hard to go back in, you know. Why are you not a consultant for new games? You're like Don Cherry. You're the expert everyone actually listens to. I mean, I don't know how much expertise I actually have. I mean, I appreciate you saying that, but I would love to consult on a looter shooter. I would. I think I would be actually very, very good at consulting on a looter shooter. I remember when you said something along the lines of this, the PvP players are missing Halo PvP. I took some time and reflected on it, and you're completely right. I miss Halo 3 PvP. Halo Infinite will 100%. Halo Infinite will pull from that crowd, right? In a permanent way. It'll pull people from that game. Some people will go back. They won't like Halo's stripped down combat, you know? They're going to miss their space magic. But yes, it will have an impact on that community. 100%. Outriders had a really nuanced marketing strategy highlighting specific aspects of their game that I think was very well executed. Yeah, I actually think they did a very, very good job marketing their game. They did. They were honest about the fact that it wasn't a live service. They were quick and reactive during their beta. They made a very, very clear outline of what the end game was going to look like. I feel that I do. I think People Can Fly and Square Enix, I think, can go to bed and say, we did a great job marketing and delivering that game. It was the bugs and the glitches that betrayed all of the hard work. People losing their loot, crashes, sound design that sounds like somebody literally is just banging on a trash can. Like, what is going on? You know what I mean? Gotta get some 90s tees. My kids' generation's going crazy for 90s stuff. There's a whole 90s section over there, Nova. They have 90s movies and TV shows over there on 80s tees. They have both. Maybe I should start saying that. They have 80s and 90s stuff. I mean, especially if you think about video games, a lot of the video game shirts over there are 80s, 90s, and beyond. For sure. Will Halo have PvE online activities or all PvP? This is my theory about Halo Infinite ongoing content. Every season will feature some type of PvE content loop that you go and play with your Spartan. And you'll be able to play it with your buddies. I believe they are going to slowly boil the frog in the water. They're going to get you to start to take more ownership of your Spartan and not really consider that you're not playing as Master Chief. That's what I think they're going to be doing. Right? Whoever okayed the sound design in Outriders should be fired. Yeah, I don't know how you can play that game and not be like, "What? Who okayed this? Who okayed this? I play indie games with better sound design. What in the frick happened? Right? What happened? The early 90s culture is reappearing in current youth for sure. My daughter's all over it. Hey, you want to get them some great presents? Head over to 80s Tees and use my code. There's tons of 90s stuff over there. You know? Every season will feature a feature that they decided to cut from launch. You're such a jerk. But I know you're right. Do you want to know why I'm okay with it, Eugene? Because you have to spend almost no money to even get into the game. Do you know? Like, multiplayer is going to be free, and the campaign is included in Game Pass. That's totally fine. It's totally fine. You know, over time you want to add all those features. They have a 10-year plan. Not a meme. They have a 10-year plan. So I'm okay if it takes them 12 months to really get the game up and running. Right? That doesn't make it better. Sure it does. Sure it makes it better. Yeah, I think so. Barrier of entry, very low. You don't got to spend any money. You don't got to get in. You do not have to get invested in it. And it's an ongoing game. We've talked about this before, have we not? The best way to do an ongoing game is to start with something and iterate on it. Rather than trying to launch some big, huge, this is our ongoing game, it's live service. It's probably better to launch with a schematic and a scaffolding and slowly add things. You know what I mean? The 9th year in Forge is back. Right. As a 32-year-old, I really need a good Power Rangers movie for nostalgia. I think they could do an amazing Power Rangers movie and make it, at the level of like how they did Transformers. You could probably do Power Rangers. You could do Voltron. Yeah, I think you could do it. I think people would love it. You know what I mean? That's a yikes for me for a flagship brand defining franchise. Its role is different now. I think that from Microsoft's perspective, some of this was unavoidable because whatever 343 was doing, they mishandled the property. They bring in Joseph Staten. In some respects, they probably restarted the game, which is why this is happening. This is so dadgum paralleled to the other game that I used to cover. It's like a freaking perfect parallel. A year delay, and more than likely, they're having to chop it up and give you things piecemeal as things go on. It's like a perfect parallel. A 5-spot from Maddie Jarvis. Thank you for the tip. With the Bethesda partnership, I would love to see a Doomslayer-themed armor set for a special event. Oh, I wouldn't. I wouldn't. So I don't think you don't need to put steak and a burger on the same plate. Sure, it may smell amazing, but that's too much meat. That's going to give you meat sweats, I don't think you have these games playing together. That doesn't line up for me. If you're new and you're just tuning in, we are discussing the Battlefield 2042 beta information. It was supposed to go live today. It has not. And it got removed from the PlayStation 4 store, and apparently it's getting put back. Also, the Halo Infinite Flight number 2, we are in, and we're awaiting install instructions, as well as other gaming news. New World servers were revealed. Admittedly, I'm not part of the target audience, but I just don't see 10 years of free online PvP, PvE as tempting in any way. Just seems guaranteed to get stale. There is a high likelihood that could happen. They're, I think, banking on easy entry and then people getting committed because it's a long-standing franchise, and then spending money on cosmetics and battle passes. They're attempting to meld it with the Fortnite format. Do you think PvP will hurt if everybody is doing challenges instead of the OBJ? Oh, that's one of the things that we're covering today. I forgot to tell you. 343 has responded to the Halo Infinite XP system criticism. So we just made a video yesterday criticizing it. They have responded. And they have said that it shouldn't disrupt game flow. It shouldn't. I just shuddered at everything you said. It's a business strategy. Like, take your biggest think about it like this, Eugene. If you're going to attempt to launch something with the Fortnite format, it needs to be a big title. You can't just be like, here's our brand new game. Like, let's say they want to do that with Starfield. I think that's more risky. If it's an established title, look at what Call of Duty has done. Fortnite has changed the industry. Call of Duty Warzone is basically Call of Duty Fortnite. Like, they just adopted the Fortnite format. It's free. There's a battle pass. It's battle royale. There's super easy accessible game modes like Plunder. You take a big title, and then you take the Fortnite format and you throw it in a blender. And Call of Duty Warzone is like one of the most popular games in the world. It went 9 or 10 million players. Likely guaranteed to print money, just not mine. Well, you're cut from the older generation cloth. This isn't for us. This isn't for us. This is for our nephews. You know? This is for our nephews and our kids, like my kids and my nephews. That's who this is for. They're a different cloth of player. Call of Duty's always been just a cash cow they squeeze for everything they can. And you don't think other people are going to look at the Fortnite format and say, look at how profitable that is. Look at the Warzone format. Look at how profitable that is. Oh my gosh, we should mimic that. Why do you think game modes are mimicking Among Us? They chase the trends, baby. That's how you make money. I can't criticize a business adopting successful business strategies. Like, I can't criticize it. You shouldn't do that. You should be, you are the chosen one, You were supposed to unite us in the light, or whatever he says, not leave it in darkness. Like, I'm not going to say that to Microsoft, You were the chosen one, Halo. No, it's just another video game. It's just another video game. And they're going to apply business strategy to say, well, I mean, look at what's working. Look at the generational shift. It said that you would destroy the Sith, not join them. That's right. I'm very much not convinced it's good for gaming in general. This is a concept that I think I don't know if I've signed on with yet. The idea that gaming is heading in a bad direction because big companies are doing what big companies will always do. They're maximizing profit, okay? The video games that we play today are living magic. It's freaking magic what we get to experience. Compared to The Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past, I get to play Breath of the Wild. That is modern day magic. It's unbelievable what I get to experience. What my mind gets to see. Whoa. Ghost of Tsushima, Returnal. These games are unbelievable. I don't think gaming is heading in a bad direction. I think big companies are doing what big companies will always do. And that doesn't mean that everybody's going to follow suit. Single-player games are proving that they are still a massively successful endeavor. There are more indie games now than there probably ever was. Like, the indie game trajectory is so healthy. There's so many avenues. Like, Microsoft making tons of money has been really good for indie games. You do realize that, right? Why are those games so good? Because they had to sell copies. But not only that, Eugene, think of some of the indie titles we're getting to enjoy right now. There are inroads for those indies because Microsoft and even Epic, you can hate on Epic all you want, Epic has made so much dadgum money on Fortnite, they lowered all their royalty fees if you use their engine, the Unreal Engine. They created a store that has allowed some indies to literally take off. Like, I don't understand. Now, if these companies were making insane amounts of money and not reinvesting in the industry, I might be more open to hearing your side. But these companies are opening the floodgates. There are so many video games right now. It's unbelievable. Like, we are I'm not kidding. I think we are literally in the midst of the beginning of the golden age of gaming. I truly believe that. The golden age of television is still here. It's not over yet. But the golden age of television is still here. We can watch some of the greatest TV shows and movies in existence. Some of these TV shows that we get to watch are just the production quality, the writing, the creativity. They're unbelievable. Things like The Queen's Gambit. Oh, we are in the golden age of television. And I believe we are entering the golden age of gaming. I really do. Just wait till some of these games land. My goodness. Forspoken, Horizon Forbidden West, Starfield. Like, we are about to enter an amazing era of gaming. And I don't think that big companies doing things for big money is a threat to the industry. I don't think so at all. Because if anything, the video game industry has been traditionally like the food industry. What's good, Vapor? The video game industry has been traditionally and historically a lot like and analogous to the food industry. Razor thin margins, right? Razor thin margins. Terrifying, and we're seeing the results of that from these investigations, from people speaking out about crunch, from people who were working on Anthem taking mental health leaves of absences. Like, what on earth? So unhealthy. The industry, honestly, is going through what I think is a bit of a purifying process right now. It's like, you can't treat your developers this way. What are you doing? Why? Because traditionally, video games have been in a terrible spot with respect to profitability and their margins. Huge moneymaker IPs, Madden, FIFA, Call of Duty, I think, inarguably bad for the people that like to play them. And so and see, this is such an interesting discussion because so is fast food. Right? But the convenience and the taste and the salt, the salt makes it taste so good, right? Like, the fast food industry is bad. It's bad for people. It's not good. It's not good for our health. Look at the trajectory of, Western health and the rise in obesity and heart disease and all this other stuff. You don't think that's automatically, or maybe not automatically, you don't think that's like intrinsically linked to our the way we consume and think about food? Video games are similar, I think. You think the rise of, you really want to get close to the chest here. You really want to make, I can make you feel uncomfortable. I can make you feel uncomfortable right now. Oh yeah, Discord's muted. I am so sorry, Discord. Dadgummit, sorry about that. I think the explosion and the increase in the rise in adult entertainment is going to have, and already has had, horrible results on the psychology of especially young men. And it's going to continue. Big video games like FIFA, Madden, Call of Duty, unhealthy food, fast food, and adult entertainment. I think the psychological effects of these things are unseen. Well, they're starting to be seen. Okay, they're starting to be seen. I don't want to get too down in the muck and the mire to try to understand why 30 and 40 something Western men don't know how to behave, but I can give you some pretty solid theories, and there needs to be some psychological and sociological studies done about what happens to a man's mind when 14 and up he's consuming content that portrays reality that doesn't exist. Okay? And then he's in a boardroom meeting and he's acting like a buffoon. Well, there's no excuse, but you could certainly trace some reasons, right? All these kids drooling on themselves and terrible behavior and terrible attention spans. There's no excuse, but you could certainly trace it and study it and say, well, maybe they're, drooling and putting Cheeto dust in their controllers for 10 hours a day and spending money on FIFA cards. Maybe, just maybe, that's related. Maybe, just maybe, our ever-expanding, waistlines could have something to do with the unhealthy food that we consume, I mostly just mean that people who genuinely enjoy a good football game aren't served well by being shoveled the same tire stuff every year. Sure. And there are people that have made very good arguments about the psychological, dangers of playing those games because of the impulse and the gambling elements. And I think that they're probably right. But you can't fault the companies because the companies are doing what's good for the bottom line. And that's what they're supposed to do. The best thing you can do is support, buy, and back the games that you think deserve it so that they can continue going and going and going. Right? You understand that this is why when I buy an indie title in Steam for a video and I enjoy it and I'm well within my right to refund it because I played it for 25 minutes and I'll never go back. I just did it for a 25-minute video. Do you want to know why I let them keep my money? Because they deserve it. They made a good product. And I think that that is a good standard, and that's me not being a hypocrite, right? That's me practicing what I'm preaching. If you play a really, really good indie title on Game Pass, you should frickin' buy it. You should. If you can, I understand Game Pass is an amazing value. But something I think Microsoft needs to consider is weaving in motivation to say, hey, Game Pass is a great value to you. We noticed you played that game for 16 hours. Consider supporting the game by purchasing it so that you always have it. It might not always be on there. It may get removed. I don't know. Now, that might start to rub people the wrong way, but I'm going to sit here and say it. If you play an indie title on Game Pass and you really liked it, consider supporting it. Consider buying the game. Consider maybe buying some micros from them, That's the best thing you can do. You can scream till you're blue in the face, right? You can scream till you're blue in the face about FIFA and Call of Duty and Madden. It doesn't matter. The masses have dictated that those games are totally fine. You will never stop the 9 and 10 million people playing Call of Duty Warzone. You're never going to turn that tide. You're not. Never going to turn that tide. Men from the first half of the 20th century and earlier were such charmers. I assume the British men that went around the world and did this horrible stuff behave that way because of this. Well, I mean, you'd have to go back and do a different study, though, Sinos. You're really misrepresenting what I was saying. I was referring to the misconduct trend in Western American men. There's a trend that we're seeing. We're ripping the veil back, and we're seeing this trend of misconduct and assumptions made about what's okay and what's not, right? Homie, I'm 39, and the stuff that we said and did when I was in high school and after, that don't fly anymore. It's very different now, okay? And a lot of that was ingrained in us from both music videos, entertainment, and the adult industry. Don't act like there's not a connection, homie. What you consume shapes your brain, especially from ages like 9 to 25. Your brain is still forming. Super influential, right? Now, you want to go back and study like the sociological trends that led to a more medieval understanding of being like empire spreading. I mean, you'd have to go back and look at the cultural influences that led to people thinking that, thinking that that was the right thing to do. Every generation has a righteous war that they're fighting. You understand that, right? Like, they think that this is the righteous war. Like, we're going to go and we're going to turn all these people into people like us. That's never... You think that that's not happening right now? You think that's not happening right now? They're just not walking around with swords and shields and burning people alive. They just use Twitter. It's the same thing. Human behavior is no different. I'm just pointing to influences that create the trends is all I'm doing, right? I highly doubt people these many years ago were better behaved. They weren't better behaved, but what you would do, Eugene, is you would trace the trends. Why did men in the first century Rome, why did they think that like women were property? Why did they think that? You would trace that to the influences and the teaching of the day. Why do men think and behave the way they do now? there are influences that are shaping the way that they behave and the way that they view other people. It's the same. It's just human behavior shaped by the external influences of the day. And our external influences that are shaping our behavior are on a screen. We're not reading books. We're not having philosophical discussions. We're watching movies and playing video games and playing TVs. That is shaping the way that people think. Show a kid videos of, show young minds violent videos for 10 years and see what happens. See what happens. They're going to be violent, right? Now, I'm not saying violent video games make people violent. What I'm saying is you keep feeding that in there, and they're going to think, oh, yeah, it's totally fine to just punch people. It's totally fine to be a bully. It's totally fine to be whatever. It shapes. You think most bullies just figure that, oh, I'm just going to be a bully. No, it's they're mimicking something that they've seen. It's an influence. It's an influence. Nature and nurture are interwoven, but then nurture plays a role. You know what I mean? I'd contend that the behavior of today is not so different than the behavior of 100, 200 years ago. It's similar, Sinos, but I think the influences are different. Instead of people thinking a certain way because they're the person that they trust or their teacher or whatever tells them, it's something else is telling them to think that. You know what I mean? So, I want more Floofy's gameplay. That little cat UFO game was so great, wasn't it, Rizik? Thank you for the 5 spot. Thank you for the 5 spot. Let's take a question from the audience. The Danzatastic says, what game studio do you think Microsoft will acquire next? There's a lot of rumors flying around. There are a lot of rumors flying around that they're looking at Take-Two. And then somebody said Steam, which I don't know about that. You know what I mean? Convos like this are the reason why you need the other channel. It'd be a fun channel, wouldn't it? But I don't. There's just nothing for it right now. I even have a name and what I would call it. I even came up with some branding, but yeah. You think they're going for Ubi? Is that a rumor going around? Going for Ubisoft? Guys, if you haven't smashed the like button, do me a favor and do that. If you enjoy the channel, the conversation, vote on the poll. We're talking Battlefield 2042 beta, Halo Infinite Flight number 2, and the New World servers were revealed. Press subscribe so you can talk and chat. And we appreciate you being here. You can also support me directly by using these commands down in the corner. Maybe you want to order some of our merch, some of our coffee, any of that stuff. We appreciate very, very much. No coffee sales yet today, so, Madam's going to be disappointed. Would make sense. Creed going live service, it fits Game Pass perfectly. They're not buying Take-Two because that would be an insane sum of money and you'd have to keep the titles multi-platform to justify the investment. Right. I can't see, I don't know. I think Take-Two's price tag is too big. I can't see the profitability in it. I can't see the profitability in it. That is a massive price tag. And like you're saying, I think it's a very well-made point. Like the reach of those games, you couldn't suddenly make them Microsoft only. It would be terrible. It would be absolutely terrible to the bottom line. We're heading for another huge industry consolidation, and the last time that happened, the industry crashed. When was the last time that happened in gaming? I'm trying to think of what you're referring to. You need these traditionally third-party devs to stay third-party. I'm not a coffee guy, but when you start selling sweet tea, I'm a buyer. Okay. That's a rumor, by the way. Oh, it's all rumors at this point. They had a talk with Sega. Sega said no, from what I've heard, and with no Nintendo Ubisoft support, there are rumors of a Microsoft Ubi buy. Microsoft don't care about exclusives. They want to make money, and Take-Two would make money. Yeah, but the problem is, though, Ferryman, is Take-Two's price tag would just be nosebleed high. It would be nosebleed high. I cannot imagine. I cannot imagine it being anywhere near what they spent on ZeniMax, Bethesda. It would be so high. And then with how those games are sold and where they land, the concern would be that you're not going to be able to make nearly as much money. The ROI, the return on the investment, would be all of a sudden all those titles are only on Microsoft. You know what I mean? He's talking about when Nintendo rose to power after everyone else collapsed in the late 90s. The price tag on Take-Two would have to be north of $10 billion. Microsoft has nosebleed money. They do, but you have to think about the target. Who are you buying? You're buying Take-Two, okay? And the money they make from those games being everywhere, you would chop those revenue streams off. I don't know. If they buy Take-Two, that is, I don't know. That is bigger than, I don't even know who else they could buy that would be bigger, short of buying Sony or Nintendo. Who would be bigger? I'm trying to think. GTA 5, 150 million copies. That's too much money. That's what I'm saying. There's no way. When GTA 6 finally lands and Microsoft's going to be like, well, we're so glad we bought Take-Two so that we can put this game on Microsoft only. No way! Excuse me. Having nosebleed money and willing to spend nosebleed money are different. The shareholders would have something to say about spending the money and excluding sales. Right. That is, yeah. I don't know. Why would Microsoft buy more companies? They need to focus on their companies finishing games first. Because when someone oh wait, you're that guy's behind. He's talking about bullying. I'm just waiting for the CEO of Microsoft to start knocking. You can't keep spending money wildly. I don't think they're spending money wildly. I think they've spent very intentionally. They're willing to spend money. They told you that themselves. Right, but you're not backing up your argument. You're just saying they're willing to spend the money and they have to. You're not interacting with the ROI element of it. Have you ever watched Shark Tank? These guys have money coming out of their ears, and they're not just buying up these little companies and startups willy-nilly. They analyze the company's production speed, margins, and how many sales do you have right now, right? And then they think about the market that they're going to enter. You know, candy bar market, and then they won't back it. Why? Because they're not going to get ROI. They're not going to get the ROI on it. So I don't see buying Take-Two. If they bought Take-Two, right? Oh, you were responding to somebody else. Oh, okay. Take-Two's worth $18 billion. The only place that will be left out is PlayStation. You understand? PlayStation is a massive market, though. And Switch. I don't know how many Take-Two games are on the Switch. Maybe none. So PlayStation is a massive market. 120 million PS4s in circulation. Probably another 10 PS5. Another 10 million PS5s. By the time GTA 6 comes out, you're talking about 150 to 200 million people, a consumer base that size, and you're like, well, you know, GTA 6 has sold 150 million copies worldwide, and we're not going to let these approximately 150 to 200 million consumers buy it. That would be so bad for their ROI, and that's just GTA 6. Take-Two has so many games out there. We're probably pushing 20 million PS5s at this point. Yeah, I mean, so there you go. I mean, it's the largest platform. Yeah, I don't understand. I don't see it. Dude. Did shareholders not freak out when Microsoft bought Bethesda? They said the same for Bethesda titles. There's a big difference between Bethesda titles and GTA, homie. Big difference. Take-Two's market cap is $17 billion. Microsoft's is $2 trillion. Even still, it's not about that. It's not about that. It's about buying something with a giant price point that then you're so limiting in how many you could sell. Please have a reality check here. This is why people will not come to Xbox. What is this? What's that number? Is that the revenue? Yeah, but that doesn't. Microsoft's money is bigger than just that. Oh, you're showing Sony as a full company. I understand what you're saying. Okay. Those investors in 2 years will be screaming to sell if the returns aren't there. That's exactly right. If the Bethesda thing doesn't work out, they'll dump it. They'll be like, this isn't working. GTA 6 on our new Nintendo box Station 2s when the monopoly takes over? Well, that's not going to happen. Microsoft stock's the highest it's been in decades under Nadella. He pretty much turned them around from when they were under Ballmer. We all know they have a huge platform. I'm trying to show that those numbers for a week, and you keep dismissing it as revenue. I don't know what it is. Oh, that's consoles, not revenue. Yeah, but the numbers up top are in. That's not how many. There aren't 400 million PlayStation consoles. Oh, are you saying all of them? PS1 to 5. There's 400 million. What is that? Lifetime, all generations. Why y'all assuming that if Microsoft buys Take-Two, they will make everything exclusive? Because if you buy a company that's valuation is $17 billion, you're not going to let that stuff be sold on other platforms. Now, the only way that they would do that is they would say, listen, we want to buy you because we want the money, and we're going to leave it on these other platforms because there's going to be something like 150 to 200 million PlayStation consumers at the point that like GTA 6 lands. They're going to want that ROI. They're going to be like, nah, 150, 175 million customers? No, we don't want GTA 6 over there. We bought a company that was valuated at $17 billion. Because they will, except the online stuff. I'm telling you, as far as market reach, there is a giant difference between Bethesda and Take-Two. Having the money to do it, it's just like Shark Tank. It doesn't mean it's a good deal. It needs to be a good deal. When you're spending money that like, you're talking about money that exceeds what countries develop, like their GDP. Like you're talking about 17 billion, I don't know, $15 billion. You're not going to spend that kind of money unless it's a good deal. If you're a very wealthy man and someone comes to you and wants you to invest, $1 million in something, you're not going to do that just because you have the money. You're going to make sure you're going to get a return on that 1 million. You're going to want it to turn into 2 million or something. You know what I mean? It's to sway them over to their platform. That they don't need to buy. Buying Take-Two to do that is so. I don't think so. I really don't think so. I can't see it. I cannot see it. Microsoft bought Minecraft. It's still on every platform. Right, but yeah, I think the only way they would do this is if they kept it on all platforms. The only way they would buy Take-Two is if they kept their stuff on all platforms. I cannot imagine GTA 6 landing and not being on the PlayStation. That would be insane. That would be absolutely insane. 150 million copies of GTA 5 have sold globally. They don't have to do anything, in my opinion, but it's up to them. Microsoft is going to buy Sony so Deathloop can be a Microsoft Game of the Year. It really needs to be a great deal at that money. $16 billion already on its own has ROI. Yeah, maybe. What is this Square Enix email? Oh, Final Fantasy merch. Okay. All I keep hearing about is this Xbox talk. Microsoft is a customer of Sony, not a rival. How do you figure? How do you figure? I still think Bethesda going exclusive for the Elder Scrolls is going to backfire hard overall. It could, but the Microsoft platform, when you include PC, is it's pretty dadgum big. You know? It's pretty dadgum big. I bet my house Sony made a component used to build an Xbox. Right, but that sure, and Sony uses some of the Microsoft cloud infrastructure, don't they? Like, the companies have amicable relationships where Microsoft might be using a chipset made by Sony and Sony's using some of the cloud infrastructure. I believe they're paying for that. But I don't think that enters this discussion. I don't think that doesn't really have a whole lot of bearing on whether or not Microsoft's going to drop a check on Take-Two, Nothing to do with games. Yeah, with GTA 6, that would be worth making into an exclusive. Sure, you would lose some money on game sales, but there are only a few games that will make people buy new hardware, and GTA 6 would be one of them. But the problem with that mentality is you're saying something that Microsoft isn't concerned with. Microsoft doesn't care about selling hardware to you. They're not trying to get you to buy a console. Microsoft wants you on their ecosystem. They want you on their ecosystem. They don't care if you buy a Series X. I mean, they do, but that's not their primary goal. Their primary goal is to get you in their ecosystem. Game Pass, xCloud, Smart Delivery, play anywhere with anyone. They're not trying to move Series X's with these acquisitions. They're trying to get you in their funnel. They want you on their ecosystem. So I'll make your point for you. There could be a point made about the GTA community is so heavily on PC that it wouldn't hurt that bad to buy Take-Two, and GTA 6 is only available on the Microsoft ecosystem. And what they would make on, in the PC market and the Xbox market would be worth what they lose on the Sony market. I don't think that that's true. I think the GTA 5 has done incredibly well on the Sony market, and I don't think you'd want to lose all those sales. I don't think you would. It's from Friday on tomorrow. I love the last stream. I have no idea. Death Stranding director's cuts tomorrow, and there's something else tomorrow too. We're getting pretty into the thick of lots of game launches. It's getting tough. It's getting tough to do them all. If you guys are enjoying the stream, do me a favor, smash the like button. Let's roll those likes over to 300. Take our poll in the chat. Hit subscribe. That way you don't miss these streams. Hit subscribe and the bell button. That way you are able to see these streams whenever they go live. We appreciate you being here. We appreciate you supporting the stream. We would love to see 7,000 subs. I would love to see 7,000 subs before we get to these new games. We're a variety gaming news channel. I am safe for work. You don't have to worry about the language I'm going to use. We do a talk show in the morning, which is what we're doing right now. In the mornings, we do the talk show, and then in the afternoons, we do gameplay. Buy some coffee. Use that coffee command. How many people play the Elder Scrolls other than PC players? PC players always had mods, and most people would rather be on Steam than the Xbox app. It depends. It depends. A lot of people play, traditionally, right? Who owns Atari and Sega right now? Follow the money? I don't know what you mean. I don't know what you're talking about. Maybe they're shopping for a better price for GTA 6, more favorable numbers. Take-Two's agreement with Sony might be changing. Maybe Take-Two is unhappy with the agreement. Darth Vader, are you unhappy with our arrangement? Wouldn't Microsoft's long game be to get even PlayStation users on Game Pass? About the Elder Scrolls, they're working on the Elder Scrolls. Joking about who Microsoft would buy next. Oh, okay. Oh, you're doing the follow the money meme? I liked the meme you posted on Facebook the other day. It's like, and if none of this convinces you, the last thing we're going to try is TikTok videos. Open your eyes. I loved it. It was so well done. You know what's sad, too, is it was too smart for the people that it's intended to insult. It was like, there's too much thought put into this. They're not going to get it. They're gonna post it unironically. We don't know the motives. We can only guess. But if they're up for sale, perhaps is license agreement driven? Maybe. Don't forget, if they buy Take-Two, they will also be getting the 2K games. That's what I'm saying. You can't, you know what I'm saying? You can't start doing that. You can't start taking the 2K games off of Sony. What? No. Absolutely not. I don't think so, man. You take the 2K games and you take GTA off of Sony. I don't know about that, dude. I'm GTA 6, obviously. I didn't know you'd seen that. I scroll it through every once in a while. You know. I don't want to talk about it. I was just going to say one of the worst things in my feed right now, but I'm not going to talk about it. Let's take Edgar's question. Do you think free multiplayer is the way to go for games going forward? Battle Pass cosmetic is what will bring the money, and ongoing changes to the game will keep it fresh. I don't think you can have an ongoing PvP game today without making barrier of entry very low and having some sort of an ongoing Battle Pass system. I don't think you can. I don't want to go so far as like every game needs a Battle Royale, like every game needs a Battle Pass, but I can't see a PvP game that sets its sights on being an ongoing PvP game. I can't see them doing that and not having it either be free or like extremely low barrier of entry, low cost, and then having some kind of a Battle Pass, whether it's Splitgate, Halo Infinite, Battlefield 2042, you know, you've got to have something that's happening every couple of months to, you know, rub the paddles together and kaplunk, like bring the game kind of back to life, like shake it out of whatever stupor it settles into, because every game will settle into a player trajectory stupor. It's great for casuals that's such in the game to keep coming back. Yeah, you want everyone coming back all the time, right? 2K also owns the Borderlands franchise. Yes, yeah. 2K, yeah. Sony don't care about taking Marvel games? What do you mean by that? I don't know what you mean. As a WWE fan, the last game was just another punch. WWE 2K. Yeah, I liked the wrestling games as a high schooler just because we would make silly characters. And Red Dead. Yeah, they also have Red Dead. We'd make silly characters and whoop on them. But like, I don't really go for those games. You know, I don't really go for them. Yeah. Embracer Group owns the Borderlands stuff because they bought Gearbox, and they control the IP. Oh, really? So that stuff, the ownership of that is passed. I didn't realize that. I think releasing on multiple platforms, even if you own the studio, is a funny irony. No matter what console or platform you love, the money still goes to the owner, so they really don't lose anything regardless of platform loyalty. Yeah. That's it. Sony has Marvel. Microsoft wants DC. It's WB Games bet. Now that's not a bad. I actually can see a lot of thought, a lot of logic in that, Jake. Sony only really owns Spider-Man, if I'm not mistaken. They don't own Marvel, but they're getting all the Marvel games. Wolverine, Spider-Man, Miles Morales, Spider-Man 2. They're getting a lot of the Marvel games. Now, a lot of the Marvel games are dropping multi-platform as well. Guardians of the Galaxy, Avengers, and then there's the Midnight Suns. Those are all multi-platform. So Sony's making moves and flexing their relationship with Marvel, but they don't own Marvel. That's right. Yeah. But they're certainly winning the Marvel race, I would say. Spider-Man and Miles Morales and Spider-Man 2 and Wolverine, like those are big wins for Sony, because the other Marvel games aren't that great. Like Avengers ain't that great. Midnight Suns could be good. I think Guardians of the Galaxy looks just... I don't know. I think that's going to get so boring after like 2 hours. You're going to be like, I'm doing the same moves. Like it seems like they took the move set from, what are those games called? The Marvel Alliance games? It seems like they took like very predictable and repeatable move sets from those, and they tried to make it look like an action adventure game. And I'm here to tell you, I think Guardians of the Galaxy is gonna. I don't think it's gonna do that well, which is a bummer, because it looks promising, but I don't think it's gonna do very well. Sony doesn't own Marvel, though. That's Disney. The only exclusive Marvel games Sony has are Spider-Man based. Well, Wolverine, I don't think you would say. I mean, I guess you could say Wolverine is Spider-Man based. That, there's definitely a connection there. Take-Two will be a big win and Sony will be cut out. I don't know, Mo. I don't know. I think that's about as likely as your Psychonauts 2 prediction, getting Game of the Year. I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing the money in it, Oh, this guy, I like this guy. I don't agree with him all the time, but I've followed him for a while, and he and I have interacted historically. He had a Trovo Live account, and they deleted his account, didn't tell him why, can't get to his money, and then they blocked him. Huh. Seems kind of interesting. That seems very contrary to the spirit of what that platform is supposed to be about. I don't know. I've even considered putting some stuff there, but I don't know. That seems kind of odd. Microsoft player base doesn't spend like Sony. I don't know if there's any evidence behind to support that. I mean, Sony's reach is just insane, but platform-wise. Which article did the Microsoft buying Take-Two come from? Let's see. We can do a quick Google search. Microsoft buying Take-Two. June 1st. Microsoft are reportedly close to finalizing a deal with a massive developer, and industry insiders believe that it might be Take-Two. 4 days ago, somebody asked about it on Reddit. Yeah. I'm not seeing a lot of hang on. Let's try that. 6 days ago, Game Rant said Microsoft, is a rumor, might be preparing another Bethesda-level acquisition. Some have pointed to Rockstar parent company Take-Two. And then this guy's saying, like what somebody else just said in chat, what Jake said, Warner Brothers makes more sense to try to secure the DC lineup. They could reset the Batman series. They could they could try and coincide that with get the actors from the new movie with Pattinson in it. Following the Midway's bankruptcy, the Mortal Kombat development team was acquired by Warner Brothers. No D2 today. I mean, I could get it. I don't think I have it installed. I pre-ordered it. I don't. We should probably play it. Just because it's new and we could talk about it. But man, when I played the beta, it felt like a freaking inventory simulator. They didn't modernize the inventory system. You know? Diablo 2 Resurrected. You have purchased this game. Install. Frickin' 30 gig. 30 gig game. It's a big one. Oh, yes. I have a question. Why all of a sudden Microsoft needs a superhero game? It's big money. It's big money. They don't need a superhero game, but think about it, Mo. From a marketing perspective, being able to be like, hey, we have the DC titles while Sony's cranking out Marvel titles, I think that's a decent theory. Right? No one's saying that they need, but they're saying it would be a good decision, right? You know, it would be like, hey, you know, there's not a single legit outlet reporting on that rumor. Game Rant, I consider Game Rant stuff to usually be pretty good, and they're not saying that it's Take-Two. They're saying it's rumored that they're buying somebody big, and then they went on to say a lot of people are guessing and saying Take-Two. So right now, even the news outlets are like, it's all rumor. People are just guessing. Like, there's nothing to point to it being Take-Two, but when people hear big acquisition, that's what they're doing. They're going to the big boys. They're like, what's going to be one of these big guys? You know? I would say, if I'm putting chips on the table, Take-Two is the least likely, and it's more likely to be something like Warner Brothers. What is this game? Prepare your city to siege. Noble's Life. Nah. What is this game? Suzerain. Suzerain. No. 18 billion for Take-Two is pennies for Microsoft. The markets are not at all hinting at Take-Two's sale. When a meeting leaves you like this. Who's that guy? I think social media manager. So this guy's from Microsoft, and you're just saying like he came out of a meeting and he's like, wow, this is huge. This guy works at Microsoft. Yeah, I'll throw him a follow. Just to see. I like to follow people in the industry just to see what they're saying. I'm not seeing anything about the Halo Flight 2. Looking forward to the first half of 2022. Where gaming is concerned, like Elden Ring, Redfall. Yeah, there's some good titles coming. Horizon Forbidden West. What was that other one? Sifu looks pretty good. Sifu looks dope. Just like a freaking hand-to-hand combat game. You know what I mean? Mine isn't loading yet. I don't think it's happening today. I'm just going to tell you, they're going to pull the same crap they pulled last time. They get everybody excited. They send out the emails. We're all like, yay! And they're like, yeah, about it going live on the 23rd. It's not going to happen. You know what I mean? It's probably going to be tomorrow. I thought after last time it would be better, but it ain't looking that. You know, what year is Wolverine? No year, just that they're making it. Just that they're making it. I have my theories on where the Activision stuff will land. Yeah, I know. I think we need to get past the we have, you have, and just move to owning both. The grass is always green over here. Come on over. Did they say 2025 for Wolverine? Did they actually put a date? It's 2023 for Spider-Man 2. Which feels like such a lifetime from now. That just feels like an age away. I guess not. We just got to get through next year, right? I'm already done with this year. I'm over that. I'm over it. I'm over this year. I'm done with this year. Microsoft has 57% market share in 2021 on console gaming. Right, get both. This console loyalty and war stuff is just so weird to me. Well, I understand you can't always get both, you know. You know. You can't always get both, you know. It's expensive, you know. Some guy tweeted, and it's still getting traction, that he misses my coverage. I'm like, man, oh man, people. People have a hard time letting go. People have a hard time letting go. What is this? Oh, Tribes of Midgard. It's just all zoomed in. It was like all zoomed in on some like animation of a character. And I was like, what? Boom. Ba-boom, ba-boom. Nope. Okay. Even if you can't get both, the last thing you want is a monopoly. Well, sure. I don't think that's even possible. I really don't. I don't think it's going to be possible. There's too many big companies out there making games for all the titles or all the platforms or some of the platforms. Like I just don't think so. I really don't. The folks that made Sifu made Absolver, which is was a great fighting game. I don't like fighting games, right? I don't like fighting games, but that Sifu game looks amazing. It really, really does. It really does. Pick3 asked a question. Do you want to watch the Nintendo Direct that's going on the air today? I don't mess with Nintendo's live events, dude. They're weird and, like, they get real finicky about you co-streaming, and so I'm not gonna even mess with it. Maybe we'll cover what they reveal tomorrow. I am looking very, very much looking forward to Metroid Dread, but I don't like to cover their stuff live. They get funny, and I would rather not have to deal with them demonetizing a video or getting mad at me or whatever the frick. Like, I don't know. I have a contact at Nintendo Treehouse because I interviewed him at E3, but I wouldn't want to try to call in a favor to be like, hey, who do I get in touch with? Like, I'll just, I'll play the games and they come out and cover them if I feel like it's worth it. But I don't like covering their events. So, Risek25 says, I like what Sony is doing by buying smaller companies to build them up to make bigger games. Well, Microsoft's doing the same thing. They bought a lot of smaller studios. Moon Studios, Ninja Theory, like, Microsoft's bought up a lot of the smaller studios as well, I saw someone blur out the game on the Switch when reviewing a headset just so they couldn't strike him. Yeah, Nintendo gets really, really weird. I've got my fingers crossed for some Silksong info. You know what was so annoying about the last Nintendo Direct? They literally used Silksong in the promotional materials, and then they said nothing about it. I was like, what? You know what I mean? Moon are still independent? What? The guys who make Ori? Are you sure about that? Moon Studios. I thought for sure Microsoft acquired them. Here's a question on... Most people figured it's just a matter of time until Microsoft acquires Moon Studios and adds it to the ever-growing stable of Xbox developers. Take-Two Interactive-owned publishing label Private Division has announced that it signed Moon Studios to do a publishing agreement. Yeah, I think I was under the wrong impression then. I thought they got Moon Studios. That's not true. Sorry. That is incorrect. That is incorrect. Okay, I have more things to go over with you guys. Halo Infinite's XP system has been criticized. We just did a video on this yesterday. And 343 has responded. I'm going to give you that news. I'm going to give you the New World server reveal. They revealed how many servers they have. And then, I don't know what we're going to do. I didn't make a thumbnail for Diablo 2 Resurrected. We probably should play that for a couple of hours, and I could just point out the things that I don't like about it. And then we could... and then play Sable, maybe. Creature, if you're around. I don't have descriptions or titles or anything made for Sable or Diablo 2. I have a thumbnail for Sable, but not for Diablo 2. So I don't know if you're in the position to make anything like that. I'm going to quickly run upstairs and use the restroom. I will be right back. Do all the things. Smash the like button. We've had a good turnout today, but the likes are lacking. Give me your likes. It helps the video. Give me your votes in the poll. It helps the video. And you might see some ads. That's okay. I'll be right back. If you're enjoying today's stream, be sure to hit the subscribe button and the bell button so you don't miss the next one, and give that like button a smash. Excuse me. Thank you guys so much for sticking around. We appreciate the very, very loyal turnout every day. Kiddos are doing their school. I love listening to my daughter read. It's my favorite thing. She's getting really good at it. And my son was very proud. I'm almost done with my green book. I was like, oh. Same. Okay. All right. Did you already discuss New World? No. I'll give you the skinny on that here in just a second. I've got 343 responded to the criticism about their XP thing, and I'm going to give you that one now. Okay. Doop. Wait, do we have... Okay. We'll go at 2:11:30. This is Halo. And that was Battlefield at the start. This is an SNTR update. 343 has officially responded to some of the criticism about the XP system in Halo Infinite, and we recently did a video about this, and I wanted to do a follow-up video. If you like these short video game update videos, be sure to hit subscribe and the bell button, and make sure to check out SNTR Gaming, where we do variety gaming news coverage live Monday through Friday. We just did this video, and I did take issue with the Halo Infinite XP system, and it's going to focus on daily and weekly challenges, and that is how you earn XP for your Battle Pass, as opposed to a traditional XP earn rate, with challenges maybe being something extra. 343 has responded to concern and the criticism from the community in their own blog post. Xfire reported on this and had the following to say. 343 clarifies in its latest blog post that their decision is not final. Instead, the studio will continue to look at the ways to add other progression options in Halo Infinite post-launch. For now, though, 343 assured fans that Halo Infinite will have more than enough daily and weekly challenges to complete. 343 also added that they designed the challenges so that they never directly conflict with the objective of the match. And that is something that I took issue with. I said, if you're going to be doing this, the risk is that it conflicts with gameplay flow and people doing the things that they're supposed to do, and instead, they're focusing on the objectives. I want to talk about how I'm concerned that this is very similar to the feedback they received about the radar. And you're going to say, well, what does XP and radar have anything to do with each other? I'll tell you. They already seemingly completely misfired on implementing the Halo 5 radar system, and they walked that back completely to the radar system from the other Halos that just detect movement, all except for crouch walking. And they were doing some sort of a threat detector that only detected, like, I think, sprinting and gunfire. That nothing else came through, and people did not like that. Now, this could be looked at as both good and bad. First, they missed a pretty big mark by going in the wrong direction with a disliked radar system. So the question would be, what else have they misfired on? Similarly here, the XP system could be a complete misfire based on the feedback they're receiving. Secondly, you could look at it as a positive, and you could say, hey, they listened to player feedback and they made adjustments on the radar system. But I want to talk about why I find this concerning. It's concerning to see another area where they are departing, in a large way, from what most gamers of today come to expect. And people are making it clear they don't like how it sounds. Similar to the radar change, it seems they're trying to do something outside the expectation of many players, and a lot are already saying that they don't like it. To be fair, we've not engaged with this yet, but it starts to become concerning when the developers continue to make choices that the community feels are out of step. Lastly, let's talk about delay to dunce. We certainly don't want the delay and the disappointment to get any worse than it already is, especially after the news of no co-op campaign at launch, as well as there not being any Forge. At this point, the worry would be that the game was in such ill repair or, a bad situation whenever they delayed it and Joseph Staten came in to, help out, that they're having to completely rework systems and walk things back, like the radar system. What if this XP system has been built in such a way that it's not about what's good game design, they're trying to stretch what's already thin or shaky at best? When you think about just how bare bones the game might feel at launch, one might think that they are stretching gameplay commitment needs with these challenges. So instead of doing traditional XP, they're just doing this to make it last longer, which won't look like much. I'll continue to be cautiously optimistic about this title, given their communication, their candor, and their commitment. They do seem to be very committed to the title, as well as implementing and listening to player feedback. Right now, it seems like they're stepping on our toes a bit too much to have a symbiotic dance, and it flowing very well. As always, if you like these video game update videos, hit subscribe and the bell button, and I'll see you in the next one. So, there you go. They responded, and that's what they have to say. I see it as both a positive and a negative. I feel like it's similar to the radar situation. It's like, man, y'all could be completely misfiring here, just like you did on radar. This could be a very, very similar situation to that. To what happened there. Like, you just misfired. Completely misfired. How many times can Lono fit the word video into a sentence? I know, I need to polish that outro. I do feel like I say it too much. If you like these video game videos, yeah. If you like these video game news update videos, yeah. I say it twice, don't I? In any case, I've wanted to polish that outro. You said bare bones? Yeah. That's a concern. That's a concern, Mo. They've delayed it, and they're going to be launching a little bit more bare bones than the original plans. I think that's a valid concern. I do. I do. It has a single-player campaign and multiplayer. Yeah, but we don't know how good and how lengthy the single-player campaign is. We don't know how much they had to chop out because of the delay. We don't know how much multiplayer is going to be either missing or lacking because of the delay. I think it's totally fair right now, given everything they're saying, and given how much they've said, like, well, the other won't even be you can't even play the campaign co-op at launch, Mo. Like, I don't know how you look at that and don't think that's concerning. Put down the fanboy flag for just a second. It's Halo, and I can't play the campaign co-op at launch. That's concerning. That's like a ground level feature. You know what I'm saying? 23 maps. That's great. 23 maps. Oh, that's awesome. I'm not saying it's going to lack content. You know what bare bones means, right? Like, bare bones means like it's all the base level things with nothing extra. That's what bare bones means. I didn't say vacant. I said bare bones, meaning like you're going to get a base level game. You're not going to get a game with frills and bells and whistles like you would expect after the budget size and the development cycle. I wouldn't expect to be like, I don't get Forge and I don't get a co-op campaign at launch. I don't know. Who has a budget this size and the backing of Microsoft and you can't launch it with a co-op campaign? It's not concerning. This is what I say all the time. Let 343 be their own company and not be Bungie. But I'm not asking them to be Bungie. That's the last thing I want them to be. Make video games, right? That's what I want them to do. And with the budget size that they have, launching without Forge and without a co-op campaign, it's concerning. Most of the money went to the new engine. I don't know if we know that. Has that been stated by them anywhere? Let them make this one. I'm letting them make it. I'm not asking them to make the Halo of old. I'm not even a Halo fanboy. You're talking to me as if I'm an old school Halo fan that wants it to be a mimicked carbon copy version of the old Halos. I'm not asking for that, but when you have a budget that is that size and you can't drop your game with the co-op campaign, that's valued. It's totally fine for me to be concerned. Like, You're hearing me say I'm concerned, and I think you're misinterpreting. I'm not saying it's going to be bad. I'm saying I'm concerned. This is a pretty big title. This is a pretty big budget, and you're missing features. Now, when I told Eugene earlier that it's fine because of the delay, and it's analogous to the game that we will not name getting delayed, some of this might be unavoidable. They had to delay the game an entire year, and more than likely they had to chop it up and rebuild entire parts of it. And that means that you're going to launch without certain things, right? Now, that stinks, okay? That stinks, but I can say that. See, I can diagnose what's probably causing that and still maintain my concern, right? You can diagnose, like, what you think is going on. Well, they had to delay it a year. They brought in Joseph Staten, and more than likely, they've had to kind of chop the game up. I can diagnose that and not necessarily defend it, but say, that's probably what's going on. It'll probably take about a year to really ramp up and get where they want it to go, and it should get, into a better place. I can say that and still at the back, and still at the end of the sentence be like, and it's a little concerning, I think. It's a little concerning. All I can say is I'll wait and see if it's not good. It'll be heard from this guy. Until then, I'm okay with what they say. Can I see the stream you created? I probably can't. It always says that, by the way. Just ignore that. Just ignore that. Yeah, it always says that, creature. Don't worry. It always says that. That's totally normal. Probably spooked you. It probably spooked you, but that's totally fine. It actually let you create a stream. Is that new? Is that new? I switched it to low latency. Yeah, it acts like I can go live now. It's so crazy. I don't. You can't. It say like it says duplicate stream key. Choo choo choo. Choo, 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 choo. I'm just combing through it now, putting it in the new gameplay playlist, and then I'm gonna take out gaming podcast, live talk show, and gaming news. I'm just gonna take those tags out. That's it. That's the only tags I took out. Everything else looks totally fine. And it's in any of the particulars. I think it looks fine. I think it's fine. Let me see what the status is. This game cannot be played yet. When the frick can you play it? When's D2 Resurrected go live? Does anybody know? Do I need to restart the Battle.net app? Excuse me. Oh, it's playable now. It's playable now. I just had to restart the app. I was like, the frick? The frick, man? Okay. Okay. And then I think we'll also play Sable today. I think we'll do both. I don't know how long I can stomach Diablo. I don't know how long I can stomach it. It's such an inventory slog. Such an inventory slog. Let me go here. I add the redirect. What? Hang on. I might have to refresh. Can't see it for the redirect. That's strange. That is strange. Let's double check now. Customization. Redirect. The frick. Oh, do you have it set to... Oh, I know why. You have it set to private. That's fine. I can fix that. Do. Yeah, it's set to private. Okay. Save. Has anyone seen when the flight's going live? They've not said, James. They've not said. They said it sounds like it's going to be just like last time, like it's not going to happen today, is what it sounds like. It sounds like it's not happening today. The same thing happened last time. It was like it was supposed to be happening on a Thursday, and then they were like, you know, sorry, we're having trouble. Sorry, we're having trouble. And then it happened like super duper late in the day. I work in software dev for a small company. I have friends who are working for big devs. A friend of mine work on Grounded, the game that I played. Making games is way more complex than any of us truly understand. What did Abe say? Halo has had multiple delays, more than lots of games. WFH excuse only gets you working from home excuse. Yeah. You can only claim that for so long before it's like, all right, well, other games are slowly figuring it out, you know. You know what I think is really hurting games right now? I'll tell you what I think is really hurting games right now. Same thing that's being annoying to the rest of us. It's like oh, the clouds are parting. Things are gonna get better, right? And no. And so more than likely that probably hurt some of these companies. You know, they might have started like putting things back together, getting back into a normal workflow, and then they were like, oh, just kidding, you know. These spam calls, man. Who falls for this crap? Probably the elderly. Which is sad. You know, it's super, super sad. Okay. Right? Oh wait, it's getting worse? Cool. You get those a lot? Yeah, I get spam calls all day long, and I guarantee you that's who they're getting. They're getting the old folks. You know? All right, let me give you. We got one more segment to do. It's about the New World servers. Let me give that for you. Let me get that for you guys. Those calls are annoying. Yeah, it's the worst. The beauty is with my phone, I know when it's spam and I know when it's not, because of if it's a local area code, then I know it's not spam. If it's the same area code that of my number, which isn't local, then I know I'm like, that's spam. You know what I mean? My phone's auto blocks spam calls. Mine just says spam risk a lot of the time. And then even if it doesn't say that and I see the area code, I know. I'm like, yeah, that's a spam call. It's a spam call, you know what I mean? That's the best way. If you get a cell phone, like you get a number for a city that you don't live in. And then when all the spam calls come through, they'll come through on that city's area code. And then the city that you live in, when those calls come through, you'll know. You're like, oh, this is a local call. Does that make sense? What game is that? That's New World. I get spam calls from numbers that are a few digits off my number? Really? I'm also getting all the text messages there now. They're like, hey, thanks for paying your bill. Here's a thank you prize. And I'm always like, I got your thank you prize right here. I got your thank you prize. Mm-mm. Why is... I was like, why is Carson Daly trending? I guess he said something about Law and Order and how the two main characters should never end up together. People are jokingly coming for him. They're like Stabler and what's her name, Benson. They're like the Mulder and Scully of the Law and Order world. You know, X-Files did such a great job, and then they did that last season that just needs to die. It just needs to not exist. You know, the elderly and boomers fall for the free prize stuff too. So annoying with my job. Oh yeah, I can't imagine them coming in and being like, I got this text message. It's like, oh gosh, it's a freaking scam. You know what I mean? We're never gonna give you a prize for paying your bill. What the frick? Why would we do that? You know what prize you get for paying your bill? We don't shut your cell phone off. That's your prize. There you go. X-Files, and they were actually aliens the entire time. Wait, what? Oh, that would have been a total cheap way to end the series. It was Lost levels of bad, the last season of X-Files. No, because the last season of Lost is actually not that bad. If you watch it and you really analyze what they did and how they resolved a lot of things, no. The last season of Lost is not nearly as bad as people make it out to be. I think people got confused. And because they got confused, they concluded that it wasn't good. And when you watch it and fully understand what's going on, I actually think it's a great ending. I think they waste a little bit too much time early in the final season of Lost. I think they waste a little bit too much time on certain things. But by and large, I feel like the final season of Lost is actually much better when you watch it and fully understand what's happening. I think too many people got confused and they're like, wait, were they never there? Like, were they dead the whole time? It's like, oh my gosh, no. The Flash Sideways was like a purgatory place that they all went, you know, because their afterlife was intertwined because their real lives were intertwined. That's right. My wife said, don't explain it to people who don't get it. They punted and said everyone went to heaven. But that wasn't a punt. That was not a punt. They created like an afterlife environment for them because the island was so important and so pivotal in their lives that they were so intertwined in the real world that their afterlives became intertwined. Crappy thing is, I called it from the very first season. Called what, though? What did you call? There was nothing to call from the beginning. So, Hex, you called from the very beginning that they were all going to end up in like a purgatory together or something, like a holding place? There's no way you called that. What did you call? That they were dead? They weren't dead. Do you see, chat? They weren't dead. They were really there. You called nothing. That's not true. They weren't dead. So many people watched the final season, and that's the conclusion they come to. They were actually on the island. Do you see, chat? Do you see? So many people watched the final season of Lost. They got confused. They're like, well, I guess they were dead the whole time. Purgatory's death, is it not? They're not in purgatory into the Flash Sideways. The final season of Lost, there's this alternate reality that they keep showing up in where, like, Jack has a kid and Sawyer is a cop. That's purgatory. The island is real. Don't you see? You got confused in the final season and you made bad conclusions about the show. They actually lived and died on the island. Your misunderstanding of the final season it's understandable because they didn't, like, paint it on a sign and it was a little weird, but they were alive the entire time on the island. And the weird flash sideways at the end, plot confusing equals plot bad. Dumb viewer doesn't make a plot bad. I understood what was going on. Like, come on. Don't be a dumb viewer. It was so easy. There was another reality where, like, Jack had a kid and Sawyer was a cop. You didn't figure that out, and then Desmond and the other guy start waking everybody up to the reality that, like, you're in purgatory right now. This isn't real. This is some holding place. They really did live on the island. It was so easy. It made perfect sense to me. And I would have conversations with people, and they're like, I thought it was such a cop-out. They were just dead the whole time. No, they weren't. You didn't watch the same season I watched. My goodness, the last season, oh my gosh, the story arc for Richard is worth the bad episodes in the final season. The final season has some bad episodes. Like, the first 4 or 5 episodes are trash. Nothing happens, right? But you getting Richard's backstory... oh my gosh. Frick you, the show lost me after a couple of seasons. Oh, but Hex, you predicted it in the first season, you smug son of a gun. You got confused just like everybody else.
Ask him, did you watch the whole series? Did you watch?
They were aliens the whole time of X-Files so bad, but that's not how X-Files ends. They weren't aliens the whole time. Y'all are doing a really bad job making the show seem worth watching. But to be in purgatory, you have to be dead? Oh my gosh. How hard is this to understand? Season 6, there is suddenly another reality where they all start showing up, and it doesn't make any sense. It's not real. Jack has a son. Sawyer is a cop. That's the purgatory. That's just where they end up after they die in real life on the island. The island was real the entire time. Mystical, strange, so bizarre that scientists wanted to study it. And it had to be protected by Jacob. And the man in black was like the evil that the island was containing. It was so mystical and so powerful that it actually had to become a source of protection from this evil getting out. They actually die on the island. They're not dead the entire time. So they die, so they dead. It pains me, it honestly pains me that this conversation is as dumb as it is. There's 6 seasons of them being alive on the island. When they're in purgatory, they're not on the island. They're living out these fantasy lives in a purgatory. That's why Sawyer is a cop. Because he's dead now, and he's living out some weird fantasy that he had. Like, he's imagining that he's a cop. Charlie's imagining he's a rock star. Desmond's imagining he's back with the love of his life. Like, if they die on the island, then they're dead. I'm feeling ice picks in my brain. I am. It's like I'm being stabbed. I'm being stabbed in the brain. The entire 6 seasons were fictional and they were in purgatory the whole time. No, they weren't. You are literally saying something that isn't just dumb, it's incorrect. They were not in purgatory the entire time. They are on the island. They really crashed. They really survived. There was really a Dharma initiative. They die on the island eventually, either to natural causes or old age. And because it's such an important part in their life, they end up in a purgatory together. That's how they resolve the end of the story. That's what it was, wasn't it? No. Everybody gets it wrong. It blows my mind. Like, it would be like criticizing the end of The Lord of the Rings and completely misunderstanding the plot and what happened. You don't even understand the plot. Lost makes it seem like they were dead the whole time. No, it doesn't make it seem like that at all. No. She literally says in the final episode that all those things happened. That really happened. And because it was such a special time in your life, you ended up here together. Christian Shepherd explains it to Jack. It's black and white. It's so easy to understand. You weren't listening. You were like, well, this is confusing or something. They were dead the whole time? Doesn't it imply they died in the crash? Nope. Never once is it implied they died in the crash. No. Maybe she's in denial. Maybe you're just dumb. I'm sorry. I am sorry. It's not confusing. Christian Shepherd explains it. He makes sense of all of it. It's not confusing. It isn't. I think it was a dream. No, they didn't pull a Bob Newhart. It's not a dream. It's not a dream. This is what happened. I think the final season was poorly paced, and they tried to explain it all in one episode. Like, Christian Shepherd explains it to Jack, and I'm like, oh, duh. That's why Jack had a son. That's why Sawyer's a cop. This wasn't real. The island was real. This other stuff wasn't real. Now that I recall, there were people on the plane that died from the crash. Yeah, there were people that did die, like day one. They didn't make it. They were pulling people out of the water and stuff. Yeah, the pilot gets killed by the monster. Yeah. Boone dies, because he falls. You can't talk Lost with Lono after how many years? You guys don't know this yet? Yeah, I mean, I can quote episodes word for word, line by line. I've watched it so many times. And let me tell you, I watched the season finale with my friends, and when I would talk to people later, I was like, how is this so hard for people to grasp? So to me, it was so obvious what happened. It was so obvious. It was like, because at first, I think that they intend you to be confused. And then Christian Shepherd, aptly named, makes sense of it all, right? He makes sense of it all. He explains why they're in this alternate reality. They died. Jack dies on the island. He dies in the bamboo forest where he first starts out on the island. It's poetic. And just like when he ends up in the bamboo forest, Vincent comes running out. I'm just dumb, I guess. I mean, I'm not truly trying to insult your intelligence, but your failure to understand something that is clearly explained by a character in the show is not the show's fault. Like, I'm sorry. If they wouldn't have explained it in the end, I would be like, yep, you're right. They just didn't explain it. But Christian Shepherd literally has a monologue that makes sense of the entire last season. I just don't think people were listening at that point. Do you want to know what I think happened? I think people checked out. They're like, this is so weird. This is so odd. I don't even know what's going on. And then when Christian Shepherd explained it, I think by that point, people had checked out. He explains that, and there's maybe 6 minutes left in the entire show. It's almost over. I think people got that far in the show, and they were like, I don't even care anymore. Because the last season is pretty poorly paced. They waste like 4 or 5 episodes, and nothing happens. People really didn't like what they did to John Locke's character either, and I understand that. I didn't like it either. So in your defense for checking out, it was pretty bad last season. But in defense of the show, once they explained it, it's like that black and white scene at the end of the movie that explains all of the weird happenings. It was like, to me, it's like a light bulb went off, and I was like, that's freaking brilliant. Like, I loved it. I was like, that is absolutely brilliant. Like, this is why all these strange things were happening. Jack didn't have a son. He didn't have a son. He imagined a reality where he had a son. It wasn't real. 70% of the audience just bailed in season 4. No, I think the show was doing real well. It had 6 seasons. I think season 6 started out and people were mad every week. They were like, we're not getting any explanations. You know what I mean? I do. I think people got irritated. I think people were really heavily invested because going back to the island was huge. It was huge. Oh my gosh. When Lapidus is like, we're not going to Fiji, are we? Oh, so good. You're like, oh my gosh, they're going back to the island. It's finally happening. And then there's like 4 or 5 episodes where nothing happens. This not John Locke version of John Locke's walking around and trying to get to a temple. And they spend episodes where like they're just like sitting around. Like, what is happening? But boy, oh boy. When you get Richard's backstory, like from that point on, I'm in. Because here's the thing. They even explain that the island isn't heaven, hell, or purgatory in Richard's backstory. Because Jacob is like dunking him in the water. He's like, you think you're dead? You think you're dead? Okay. And he's dunking him in the water. He's like, stop. Why? And he's like, because I want to live. And he's like, do you see? You're not dead. Like Jacob clearly, and Jacob explains what the island is. Like they give a lot of good explanations in the final season. It just takes too long. Now, when you can binge watch, I think it makes the last season a lot more tolerable. Gonna lurk, Snow's yelling at me to get us food. Sorry, Hex. I take loss pretty seriously. And it always amazes me when people are like, I thought the final season was stupid. I can't believe they were dead the whole time. Like, blood squirts out my nose. I'm like, that's not what happened! That's not what happened! Season 5 of Lost was pretty bad. They jumped the shark with all the time travel stuff. No, you take that back. The time travel stuff is brilliant. Are you kidding me? Desmond's episode, The Constant? Oh my gosh. I cry like a baby every time. He asks for her number and he's like, I'm not going to call you for 3 years. I love you, Penny. Oh, it's so good. Finally gets her on the phone. Just brilliant. Just so freaking brilliant. Daniel Faraday and The Constant and the time travel. Oh, and what happens to Charlotte? Oh, it's tragic. It's beautiful. It's so well done. Get out of here. In my defense, I'm stupid. No. You just checked out. You checked out. You did. Not Penny's boat. Yeah. Oh, it's good. Man. Sorry, that was a huge tangent. It still amazes me today, though, that people, nobody's corrected you. Like, that's what blows my mind. Like, nobody's corrected you. Do you want to know why nobody's corrected you? Because everybody else is like you. They're like, yeah, it was stupid, wasn't it? They were all dead. Like, nobody at the party knows. You're all sitting around talking and dogging on Lost, and no one's like, wait a minute, you guys thought they were all dead the whole time? That's not true. That's not... Nobody will correct you because you all think the same thing. It's so frustrating. The game that you're showing is about getting shipwrecked? Right. It's a little ironic. It's a little serendipitous and ironic at the same time. Yo, it's good, Jay Stubbles. Yeah, people don't get it. I'm about to do an SNTR update on New World, homie. Looking forward to next week, man. I know you probably are too. Oh my gosh, Richard's backstory. Do you remember when Hurley tells him his wife is there? Oh gosh. There are some good moments in the final season. It's such a shame that it's so inconsistent. Because that episode is so good. That's another one that makes me bawl like a baby. Just absolutely legendary. Richard is hundreds of years old, and yet still loves his wife that deeply that just hearing from her, oh gosh, it's wonderful. It is wonderful. Desmond is great because folk from the west coast of Scotland do call each other brother. Yeah, that's right. I'll see you in another life, brother. Yeah. Just ordered food, watching your stream. What's good, Samurai? Nobody can tell me I'm wrong. I don't socialize much. All right. Well, I was hard on you. Because you were... The Black Rock. Oh, man. So good. So good. Oh. Decide to play Diablo? Yeah. We're gonna play it for at least a little bit. We'll play it for at least a little bit just to show it off. What is the Smoke Monster? Smoke Monster was the man in black. I still think they should have called him, his name should have been Esau, but whatever. They just called him the man in black. All of the biblical imagery in the show, it's undeniable that it's heavily influenced by like a lot of biblical stories and different things. And they even quote the one passage in the one scene. Carl quotes it. You know, Jacob have I loved, Esau have I hated. And I thought for certain that's what they were going to do. They were going to tie that together and like establish this idea that like this metaphysical reality and this thing that was going on was planted an age ago. It was planted an age ago in twin brothers, one that is blessed and one that is not. And the tension that causes on the island is why the island is so important. The hated brother needs to be contained because he's evil. Thank you for just explaining the ending of Lost for those who just didn't understand it. Thank you for the 5 spot. It's a bummer that Repeat Theater didn't go anywhere because I was really looking forward to going through Lost with you guys. It had been so good. They were all dead and lost and ketchup on a steak. It's a guaranteed Lono rant. Yeah. The Easter eggs in Lost are worth watching it. Yeah. Yeah, it's good. On the point of Lost, the writers even said they weren't dead. Yeah. After the second season, they wrote out the final seasons. People were like, they didn't even know what they were doing. That's why the second season got bad reviews, because they didn't. They also had to remove people from the show for stupid reasons, like... Mr. Echo wanted off the show. He didn't like the filming because it was just not... They had to go on, they had to be there and it was hot and he just didn't like it. And then the 2 girls got DUIs and they had to be removed from the show. Anna Lucia and Libby. They had to remove them from the show. So like it jacked up some of the storylines. Okay, Creature. All right, rest up. He's being forcibly removed. All right, I got to write this timestamp down. I got to give you this guy's one. It's going to be 253. 253. This is an SNTR update. New World has finally revealed its server list, and we're going to be talking about exactly how many and what exactly we're looking forward to in this game, the reality about the show, and my planned coverage of this game. This was reported by Game Rant. I'm going to be reading through their report first before giving them my opinion. If you like these video game updates, be sure to hit subscribe and the bell button. That way you do not miss my uploads, and check out SNTR Gaming for my daily live streams. So the report by Game Rant says New World boasts of 177 servers divided between 5 regions. Amazon named the servers after a mix of mythical or otherwise fictional realms, ranging from Camelot to Atlantis to the Norse underworld of Helheim. The regions are North America West with 22, North America East with 54, Central Europe with 64, Australia with 11, and South America with 26. Given so many serious problems, it's understandable Amazon Games decided to delay New World once more. However, this month's open beta saw a more positive reaction and managed to pull in an impressive number of players on opening day. The New World open beta peaked at over 140,000 concurrent players on September the 9th, making it one of the most played games on Steam that day. Unfortunately, New World wasn't able to maintain the initial wave of enthusiasm. The open beta fell way short of the closed beta's peak players, and I think that's very easy to explain. The reality: the open beta seeing lower turnout makes sense given a ton of people playing the closed beta, they were not going to see a big reason to go back in and do it all over again when the open beta hit. So it's a very large and invested side of the player pool that isn't coming back until the official launch. Knowing that progress doesn't come with us, it's understandable why so many people passed on what they viewed as a beta 2.0, and they're just going to wait for the official launch. I still have my own concerns about how much this game appeals to more casual, non-traditional type MMO fans, and how they won't feel they have inroads to enjoy the game, but we will obviously wait and see. As far as my planned coverage for the game, this is what I want to see. I plan to put a lot of time into the game and do a more traditional breakdown like you guys are accustomed to, when I would go into specific parts of a game and dissect it, talk about the good, the bad, and the room for improvement. I plan to do that with New World. The analyzation of the game, I think we can create a very good set of content. We're going to be playing the game as well, because if you don't put a lot of time into the game, I'm not going to be able to dissect all the various aspects of it. This means that there will be lots of gameplay sessions in New World for at least the first and second week of the game. To be clear, we will not become a New World channel, but we will add it to the suite of ongoing coverage and variety gaming news on the main channel where we do live streams, SNTR Gaming. That means that the SNTR Updates channel will get content as well. It will get content that looks like, breakdowns of aspects of the game, critiques, criticisms, etc. We're going to continue to tell people, if you're looking for a New World channel, we will obviously hover around the game, come back, invest, and dive in when it makes sense. We will also look to use the Discord to organize into community groups, companies, servers, and make sure you have plenty of people to team up and play with, given so much of the game revolves around what you're looking at right now, the big PvP battles, as well as flagging for PvP out in the open world. If you're looking for people to play with, the discord.gg/SNTR network is going to be a great place to start. We look to bring lots of people together for games like Battlefield 2042, Halo Infinite, and the one that's right around the corner, New World MMORPG. If you're looking for people to play with, be sure to stop by the live streams at SNTR Gaming or head into our Discord. And as always, if you like these video game updates that we push out on this updates channel, hit the subscribe and the bell button, and I will see you in the next one. There you go. There you go. There's your update on the servers. There's your update on the servers and how many they have, and our plans for New World coverage. So it looks like we're going to have to play the Halo Infinite Flight number 2 tomorrow. We're going to have to play that tomorrow. Doesn't look like it's landing today. Not seeing anything on Twitter. It's already the middle of the day. So we need to make the move to Diablo. Let's see here. Somebody asked if I was worried that Battlefield's going to release bare bones. We're investigating issues that's causing delays in game creation. Oh, okay. We need to make sure we can get into this game before we boot up. Season 4 was the writer's strike. Do you remember the writer's strike ruining Heroes? Oh, gosh. Yeah, I don't even want to talk about that one. That was a bummer. Servers are taking a dump for Diablo 2. That's concerning. Did you decide on playing Sable as well? Yes. We've got it downloaded and installed. I've got a thumbnail. And I think Creature went in and scheduled it privately. He went with a different thumbnail than me, but it looks good. That's fine. I think his is better than mine. Heroes is such a letdown. Season 1 and even 2 were great. Well, Season 2 came like crashing to a halt. Just crashing to a halt. It was unfortunate. Okay, I'm going to make sure and get in a game before we make this plunge. Okay. It's attempting to create my game right now. Why wouldn't the mother let the man in black leave the island? He wasn't evil until everyone forced him to stay. Okay, well, she was crazy, but she was also in charge of protecting the island. And she basically used her power to bless them. They blessed the one, but then they couldn't hurt each other. And then Jacob threw him in the water and he fell down in, and basically it turned him into... He basically got infected with the evil of the island that they were supposed to protect. It manifested itself in him. A issue occurred. Join? Cancel join? Play. Yeah, I'm trying to get into a game right now. What game are we jumping to first? I'm trying to get into a Diablo 2 game, and the servers are having an issue. Saw one of your vids from years ago on the trailer, Recore. Don't know if everyone played it again, but it's interesting and looks great. Recore was great, and then it wasn't. Like, the way that it ended was extremely rough. It was extremely rough. You basically had to go and, like... You basically had to go and maximize and, like, do every single thing you could do on the map. You got kicked and it won't let you back in. Yeah, we might have to do Sable instead of Diablo. Because I don't like taking the stream much longer than 3 hours. Let me, we'll just make a pivot here. We'll just have to make a pivot. Let's see. It's a bummer, but like if I can't play the game, I'm not gonna sit here and just wait. Really did enjoy Recore. They did update the game, but I don't know how it changed. Yeah, I don't know if they ever went back and fixed that. Like, I got to the last temple in Recore, and I couldn't do anything. I was grossly underleveled. Like, the further you went up in the final dungeon, this is so bright. Holy frick. The further up you went, man, freaking smudged. Let's see. Yeah, I gotta turn on the 30 FPS here in this in this game. I'm sorry, the 60 FPS. And we'll turn on high level of detail. Controls. We gotta invert vertical. Okay. So I'm gonna have to fix. This is what we're switching to. I'm gonna have to fix this. Hang on just a second. I'll have to make the Diablo stream private. We'll definitely try and play Diablo today, but we're just gonna play Sable first because we just don't have much of a choice. So I'll set that to private, and we'll set this to public. It's scheduled for 5. Let's just bring it down here and schedule it for now. And then let's go in here and feature the video on the main page. And then I have to redirect to it. Okay. Trash that, add a redirect, disable, save. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to put a link in chat. This is where we're headed. It's another stream of Sable, a Sable gameplay. Cool little indie title, looks super dope. And then, we will play Diablo after. We'll play this Sable game for, hour and a half, 2 hours or so, and then we'll check on Diablo to see if we can boot up Diablo. It's super helpful to me when you guys support all the various things that we do. So do me a favor, click the link in chat. It's pinned at the top as well, or you can ride the redirect. It'll bring you with us, and we will see you guys over there for the stream of Sable and then some Diablo 2 Resurrected. All right, we'll see you guys over there. And I have a premiere over on SNTR Presents of a game called Severed Steel, I think. I think that's what it's called. Severed Steel. So we still got a lot of things to show, a lot of things to cover. All right. Listen, there's 260 some odd people here. I need everybody to come over. If you love the talk show and you love what we do here, you got to support more than just the talk show. Even if it's 20 minutes, 15 minutes of your time, head over to the next stream and support it with just a little bit. Likes, some chat, all that, and we'll see you over there. All right? We're going over to Sable.